can separate teams.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
People who really want to have a good time won't come to a slaughterhouse. And we've got entirely too many troublemakers here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
I don't like you because you're dangerous. That's right. I am dangerous.
Streaming live from hitthatline.com.
I hit the 7-iron like John Daly hits the 3.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson.
You just gotta keep living, man.
And Tommy Kraft.
We follow orders or people die. Are we clear?
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
As of last night, you finished your highest rated in the college football playoff since its inception, and man, it feels pretty good. You're up to 22 in the college football playoff rankings. I want to talk about not only that, but the impact of those rankings that came out last night as we get ready for Showdown Saturday, the championships, the Pac-12, the ACC, the Big 12, the Big 10, and the SEC. Reminder that we will be having the Pac-12 here on ESPN Arkansas on hitthatline.com Friday night, and then we'll have the ACC championship on Saturday night here because we got the Arkansas basketball game against Little Rock this Saturday, and they'll play UCA tonight. We'll talk about that a little bit. I know a lot of headlines have been made about Brian Kelly and the 2-minute conversation that he had with his players. And I want to know from your perspective this morning, what should be protocol when a coach leaves his program, whether it's the National Football League, college, high school? Does it matter? Is it different? Should it be the same? How would you go about leaving your school or franchise or high school? There is a guy in the transfer portal that I think many Arkansas fans are interested in. His name is Jaden Hazelwood. He's a 5-star wide receiver out of Georgia in the class of 2019, and he played under Arkansas running backs coach Jimmy Smith, where they won the 3A Georgia State Championship. And people just assume that he's got a chance to come to Arkansas. We'll discuss here on a What's Your Beef Wednesday this morning.
How y'all doing?
I'm good. I'm in a good mood. I feel like the whole office has kind of got a little bit of this crud. We were talking about it prior to coming on. Drew's got a head cold. I've kind of stopped up. You feel okay?
I'm kind of on board with where you guys are at, but we've got bronchitis at my house. My wife has got some problems today. And she was really sick the last couple of days and went to 3 different walk-in clinics yesterday. The first 2 said, come back tonight. We can't even check in. They were so busy. The last one, the best deal she could get was a 4-hour wait to see a doctor yesterday. So, and her regular physician didn't even get back to her. So, I mean, it just till way after hours. So, I think there's a lot of people battling upper respiratory and just the crud right now. So, I think I don't think we're alone in this deal.
Did you get a chance to watch the college football playoff rankings last night?
No, I was jockeying kids around. The kids decided to disappear about dark at one of their friends' house. Had to go chase them down, get prescriptions, all that stuff.
On a school night?
Yeah, and that they didn't like the consequences. But but I did read about them about 9:00 last night. So not surprised at all that Michigan jumped that high after a quality win. Not surprised Alabama didn't fall after a close loss. They know that this committee, they being the committee, knows that one's playing 3, and if 3 loses, they're out of the top 4 anyway. So Notre Dame not playing, the top 5 all play this weekend. It's going to be an interesting weekend to see how this thing shakes out.
I'm really excited about championship weekend, not only the games that we have on our stations, but I mean, what the SEC championship, and this will be something we'll get into later on in the program, it's almost a given to some people that Georgia is going to beat Alabama, and I'm just not on that camp yet. Now, Nick Saban, here's a great stat from Peter Burns. It's 2 times in the 4 times the SEC has been an underdog, Nick Saban has won the SEC championship. Do you know those 2 times where Saban was the underdog and they won?
I'm guessing you'll have to tell me the year when they played Georgia. Well, I need to narrow it down a little bit more. It would be 3 years ago, and then we'd have to probably go back to one in 9 or 10 or somewhere in that range.
You got one right.
Played Florida.
2009 and 2008, both times they played Florida once they were the number 1 team.
I was going to say it had to be Urban Meyer involved somewhere in there. Mm-hmm. So Georgia's not the other one.
They have been the favorite with the exception of those 2 games under Nick Saban. Even when he was in LSU in 2003, they were the favorite there. I thought it would have been 2003, but the 2 times that Alabama has been the underdogs in one were against Florida. So in 2009, and then there's one other game. There's one other game that I'm bringing.
Are you saying only under Saban?
Under Saban. So they lost in 2008 and then got there in 2009. So that Saban's gotten a little bit of that, which I think there's a great chance they win this weekend. And a lot of things are not going Bama's way. Georgia's played Georgia Tech, and I forgot they played a cupcake team 2 weeks ago. They're getting George Pickens back. Their outstanding wide receiver. Brian Robinson's health is a question mark. A lot of things seem to be trending the Bulldogs' direction. I just think somehow, some way after that Iron Bowl win, Nick Saban's going to rally his squad, and they're going to find a way to not only cover the 6-point spread but win on Saturday, because they are underdogs in this one.
You just wonder how much that overtime period, that last minute or two of regulation, boosted their confidence in beating a rival. How much the last couple of weeks, maybe not so much in practice itself with the players, but how much of the coaches, the staff, been preparing for Georgia more so, or alongside Arkansas and Auburn. So we'll see. I mean, until this year, until Jimbo Fisher, Saban had never lost to an assistant, as we know. Hard to believe it's going to be twice in the same year. That would be hard for me to believe. So.
Hopefully it will.
But Georgia is clearly the better team.
Yeah, no, you can't argue that based on their record, based on their resume to this point. Now, here's another good stat. I think this is also from Peter Burns. 14 of the last 15 regular seasons, the SEC champion winner has gone on to win the national championship. Another trivia question: when did this not happen?
Oh, it'd have to be one of them years where, was it just once or twice where Saban and Bama got beat in the semifinals?
Just once.
It was to Ohio State. Is that right?
2014.
2014.
2 of the Ohio State Buckeyes. They won the SEC championship
the
that
very
year.
First playoff, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Ezekiel Elliott had a fantastic day, as did Cardell Jones, 12-gauge. And the Ohio State Buckeyes and Urban Meyer went on to win that day. That is the only time where the SEC champion has not gone on to the national championship. 14 of the last 15 regular seasons. That is the only time. That shows you how pivotal this game is on Saturday. And I think there's a chance that Alabama could still somehow make the college football playoff based on what happens this weekend, even if they lose a close game to Georgia. It's going to be a lot harder, but I still think that's on the table. There's a lot of things still on the table. If you're an Oklahoma State fan right now, you win this weekend, there is a great chance that you wind up in the college football playoff. Now, you're probably likely your reward is having to play Georgia. That being said, it would still be worth it to get there for a lot of Cowboys fans who felt like they got screwed by the SEC in 2011.
And if Oklahoma State can do it, you got to feel like Arkansas could find a path at some point in the future. Because Oklahoma State and I think Arkansas have a lot of similarities in the kind of programs that they are. Hey, how would you like to win $15,000 to pay your rent or mortgage for the next year? You can go to hitthatline.com and register once a day, every day through December the 14th. It's brought to you by real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell and Matt Fowler at Highlands Residential Mortgage. We're going to give away $15,000 plus 2 great prizes, including $250 to Doe's Eat Place and $250 in a gift card to get the things you need for around the home at Home Depot. So it's all brought to you again by Nick and Ellie Glidewell and Matt Fowler at Highlands Residential Mortgage. Register today at hitthatline.com.
Yesterday, Clay, on the one word that he would use to describe Arkansas' season, he would say bargain, and talking about Sam Pittman's contract. Well, I want to share with you coming up the top 10 highest paid coaches in college football that we know about right now and how that compares to what they've actually done at their current school.
Hey, our friends at APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group are looking for ready-mix drivers to join the team now. If you have your CDL license without an automatic restriction, you want to be home every night, work with a great company that offers a sign-on bonus, profit sharing, a great benefits package, and a great team environment with growth opportunities. Apply today at jobs.crh.com. They need ready-mix drivers to join their teams in Fort Smith, Northwest Arkansas, and in the Harrison area as well. That's jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group are equal opportunity employers.
Also got some headlines to get to this hour, including Matt Campbell's interest in the Notre Dame job.
Pat Richardson in studio like a seasoned vet this morning.
You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Hog fans, this is Robert.
And this is Matt, and we're from the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville.
So, Matt, check this out. 'Twas the night before game day, and all through the shop, everyone was excited the Hogs would come out on top. The stockings were hung on the goalposts with care, in hopes that a Razorback victory soon would be theirs.
Your dad's side just won't go away, will it?
Nope, and you know what? It never will.
Folks, while Dad seems to be Dad, Christmas shopping has officially begun.
And everybody wants Razorback stuff for Christmas.
The Stadium Shop is the perfect place for all those Hog fans on your Christmas list.
Yep, Matt's right. Whether it's a t-shirt, sweatshirt, or fan cave stuff, the Stadium Shop has what all Hog fans want.
Razorback stuff!
So stop by 989 South Razorback Road next to Baumwalker Stadium, or Matt, if you will, tell them about that interwebs WW stuff.
Sure. Our website is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com. Or you can call us at 479 Stadium, 479-782-3486. Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
But to be the man, you gotta beat the man, and I'm saying, woo!
Hey, Siri.
Hey, Courtney.
Hey, what's up, Ty?
Our game day food has not been up to hype. Can you help me out with it?
Are you referring to your queso or wings or fries?
All of it.
Well, I tell you what, we offer our Rub It Snout signature all grub rubs at your local Harps, and it's also served at Grubb's Bar and Grill in the Northwest Arkansas area.
I'm going to go check out your full product lineup at rubitsnout.com.
Spread the rub.
What's your New Year's resolution in 2021? Mine is to lose weight, and one of the fastest and easiest ways to do that is through biking. That's where Champion Cycling comes in. Just in time for Christmas, enter to win a specialized Alays road bike or specialized 12-inch Rip Rock Kids bike valued at $1,200. Register at hitthatline.com for your chance to win. Get back on track next year with Champion Cycling, the Champion Cycling Bike Giveaway with ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
The temperatures may be cooling down, but at Wheels RV in Northwest Arkansas, the deals are still red hot. Whether you are enjoying one of over 50 state parks or tailgating with your favorite team, Wheels has the right RV to help you enjoy fall in the natural state. And at Wheels RV, every new unit comes with a lifetime warranty. So get out to Wheels and see why they were voted best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Hi, it's Phil Elson for CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers in Russellville and Fayetteville. Since 2005, the Wilson family has been making the best burgers, fries, and shakes in all of Arkansas. Their award-winning food is a must-stop before or after every Hog game. And now you can bring CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers home to your kitchen. For the first time ever, CJ's is sharing its secret Butcher Boy seasoning with you. Pick up a bottle at either location today to change the way you cook forever. CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers. When all you do are burgers, they have to be the best.
Are your real estate investments being properly managed? Are you sending a check or cashing a check each month? If you're tired of your current property managers, then call Trinity Multifamily. Trinity will qualify your tenants and leases, inspect your properties, and take care of maintenance and provide you with web-based access to current financial reports, leases, and pictures of your property. Call Trinity Multifamily at 479-452-1817 or online at trinitymultifamily.com. Trinity Multifamily, your teammate in the real estate game.
Cherokee Tire & More in Mansfield is ready to make you a great deal on tires this Christmas season. Choose from Falcon, Michelin, BF Goodrich, Kenya, and Uniroyal. In addition to new tires, Cherokee Tire & More handles rough country lifts that would make a great Christmas gift. Whatever service you need, Cherokee Tire & More can handle it. Located at 700 Highway 71 North in Mansfield, Cherokee Tire & More is open Monday through Friday, 7 to 5:30, and Saturday, 7:30 to noon.
Joe's Grill and Cantina is the only place to watch the Hogs. Watch every game at Joe's. Enjoy half-price apps and taps during the game. And with TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat. Half-price appetizers like brisket nachos, Mexican pizza, 10-layer dip, or Joe's humongous sampler platter. All half price. And all beers on tap are half price. Watch every Hog game at Joe's. Half-price apps and taps during every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina. 3400 South 74th Street across from Harps.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. If you're going to do some cold water bass fishing, you need to be using a Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. It's the best lure for duplicating a small school of shad and can be worked from the top of the water column to the bottom. Whether you're trying to win a bass tournament or whoop up on a bunch of white bass and stripers, the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. will catch them. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place, the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC is the River Valley's truck superstore. No one has a bigger selection of new and pre-owned trucks. If you need a regular cab work truck, Harry has them, and the biggest selection you'll find anywhere. Over 60 full-size pre-owned trucks are in stock now, and over 250 pre-owned vehicles are on the lot. And for the first time in 90 days, new 2021 trucks are on the ground. When the other dealers don't have it, Harry does. The area's truck superstore, Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
ESPN 95.3.
Good morning to the Morning Rush, everybody.
It's a good snap. The hold is down. The kick is on the way. And it is good! Arkansas wins! The Razorbacks have won it! For the second week in a row, the last play of the game produces a Razorback victory.
Are you entered to win free mortgage for a year? Go to hitthatline.com for more details. Brought to you by real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell and Matt Fowler at Highlands Residential Mortgage and Mountain Home.
Clay used the word bargain to describe the season yesterday relative to the success in Sam Pittman's contract. Well, some of these athletics directors and schools are paying way more than what they thought they were going to get. There's only 2 coaches in this top 10 highest paid coaches in college football list that have won national championships at their current school, and there's only one outside of that that's won at another school, and I want to discuss these coming up.
Speaking of bargain, call our friends at World of Wireless, 877-305-DISH. One of their best bargains is to get the Playmaker system. It will create great value for you. So if you're paying cable in one place and you're paying satellite at your lake house or a cabin or your hunting place or wherever, get the Playmaker system. And with Dish, you can use those satellite receivers back and forth and then take them on the go, whether it's to the lake or to a tailgate themselves, and it will save you money because all you need to do is just add the right receiver to work with the tailgater. Then when you go, you take it along with you. It gives you total flexibility. That's a real bargain. 877-305-DISH is the number. Call and ask Ben and his crew about the Playmaker system and how to cut the cord or cut cable wherever you're at. 877-305-DISH for WOW, World of Wireless.
We know private schools, Notre Dame, Baylor, ECT, don't have to release their figures. That's the institutionals. That's what they can do. You've got Jimbo Fisher, who's won a national championship at Florida State. He's in this top 10 list, but hasn't won one. And they go 8-4 this season. You've got Dabo and Nick, who have both won multiple titles at Clemson and Alabama. But, Tommy, some of these other 10 highest paid coaches, Lincoln Riley is right now the most, 10+ million. That's estimated. You've got Nick Saban right behind him at 9.8. Brian Kelly is making 9.5. Mel Tucker's also making 9.5. David Shaw's making 8.9. Dabo's behind him. Then you got Jimbo at 7.5. Kirby, good chance he wins a natty this year at 7.1. James Franklin just got that contract extension and raise at 7. And then Ryan Day's at 6.6. He's been to a national championship at least. But there's a good chunk of these coaches, Tommy, that haven't won a national championship, and they're still getting paid like they have.
Well, based on these scenarios from this weekend, if Bama loses to Georgia, I only see one coach on this list that will be in the college football playoff in all likelihood.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's likely to change, maybe a Harbaugh, or certainly depending on how things play out with Cincinnati. Those coaches at select schools may be getting into this top 10 money. The question is, I guess these trees do grow to the sky. I mean, $10 million a year, this is the TV money that schools are banking on to pay this, and I've got to believe Nick Saban, win or lose Saturday, win or lose in the college football playoff, Alabama's not going to sit on their hands and let Nick Saban be anywhere other than at the top of this list.
I'll say this about Jim Harbaugh. He does some antics that I think a lot of Arkansas fans aren't in agreement with, but I did see that he's giving his bonus pay to members within the athletics department that were laid off because of COVID or had their hours cut or salary cut, and I thought that was a cool gesture on him and his wife's part. But like I said, I think it was yesterday, earlier this week, I'm kind of happy that Michigan is one game away from the college football playoff. We need some new blood in there, and that's one of the premier programs in the country, and I'd like to see them back. Aiden Hutchinson, if you hadn't got a chance to watch him play at 3 sacks in the Ohio State game, is one of the highest projected guys in the NFL draft. Some people have him going number 1. I want to see if they get either in the 4 slot or 3 slot if they can match up with Georgia or whoever. I think that's going to be a good game. But to tie this back into the Arkansas football program, Sam Pittman, again, his base is 3. The bonuses, it's going to be like 375 plus the bowl. I think if he gets to a certain bowl, it's 150. I got to go back and relook at his contract. But I still think he's making, let's think about this, Tommy. So Jimbo's making 7.5. He beat Jimbo, and he had the same record at Texas A&M, both in conference and out of conference.
Well, I mean, but that's just not the way life works. You beat somebody one time and you make more money than them.
No,
so,
that's,
I mean,
but
Jimbo Fisher's resume is
it is a lot
much
better,
deeper and
but
broader.
Tommy, 7.5 compared to 3 for the exact same record, and you beat them head-to-head.
Well, one time. I mean, Arkansas has only won one time. Now, Sam Pittman gets the credit for that. He didn't win last year.
Correct.
But, I mean, you can't just pick and choose, where you want to state only the good things that happen. There are some other things in that record with Sam. But, Sam didn't have the bargaining power when he took the Arkansas job. He bet on himself. He's earned the raise he's going to get next year by winning the 8 games. But I think Clay's word of bargain, when you compare what Sam Pittman's making to the coaches on this list and the results they produced in this 1 year, it is a bargain what Arkansas is getting. And I think if Sam continues to win 8+ ball games, he's going to be maybe not in the $7, $8, $9 million range, but in the $4, $5, perhaps $6 million range if he could produce a 10-win season.
I look at Stanford and David Shaw, the Cardinal this year, not the Cardinals, the Cardinal. I don't know why they do that.
The Christmas trees.
Yeah, they have a record of 3-9 this season. 3-9. If you look at Texas A&M, like I said, they're tied. Brian Kelly, they had 1 loss at Notre Dame. Mel Tucker right now. Did they beat Penn State last week, or did they lose? They've either had 3 losses or 2.
I thought they won that game, but
okay, if they won, then they have 2 losses. Jimbo, like I said, in Texas A&M, 8-4. Kirby, they don't have a loss this season. Penn State is got the same or slightly worse than what Arkansas has. So I think it shows that there's a lot of motivation right now for this football team. And again, right now, we'll see if it ends up what the raise and what other stuff he's getting. And I want to see what Hunter Yurchek decides to do in the offseason as well. Michigan State won 30-27. So Penn State's got 7-5. So Sam Pittman has a better record than, let's see, you've got a better record than Penn State, better record than Stanford, the same record as Texas A&M, and I think Clemson also has 4 losses as well. That's almost half the list.
Now, here's one thing I was thinking of, and, I mean, yeah, we're telling the story for this year, but Sam Pittman has done something I don't think Brett Bielema ever got to, and certainly Chad Morris didn't. And probably hasn't been done. I'd have to really look into this in detail, but I was thinking about this driving home yesterday. With the 8-4 record, couple that with 3-7 last year, that gives him an 11-11 record going into the bowl game. Bielema had such a rough time the first year or so. I don't think he ever got to 500 as a coach at Arkansas.
I can tell you the math in my head real quick. They went 3-9 first year. They went 7-6. They went 8-5. They went 7-6, and then they went 3-9 again, right? Or was it 4-4-8? And I think it's 4-8 the last year. So
we'll see what Sam does moving forward. But right now, at least at 500 in year 2, I can guarantee you,
do that math.
Bielema wasn't there. We know because we know about the long SEC losing streak. Hey, Champion Cycling's giving away a Specialized Elise road bike or a Specialized 12-inch Rip Rock kids bike with helmets. Register at hitthatline.com now through December the 19th, and you could win a new bike in time for Christmas from Champion Cycling, ESPN Arkansas, and hitthatline.com.
I have him going 29-34. Quick math in my head.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here and hitthatline.com.
Ashley Air is proud to be an official sponsor of Razorback Athletics. Our service to the River Valley began in 1958, the same year that the legendary Frank Broyles took over as football coach. The Hogs have had some great coaches, but we've never had so many on campus all at once. Sam Pittman, Eric Musselman, Dave Van Horn, and Mike Neighbors, just to name a few. What an incredible team. We put together quite a team at Ashley Air, too. On game day, call the Hogs. When your AC breaks, call Ashley Air.
But to be the man, you gotta beat the man, and I'm saying, woo!
Hey, Siri,
Hey, Courtney.
Hey, what's up, Ty?
Our game day food has not been up to hype. Can you help me out with it?
Are you referring to your queso or wings or fries?
All of it.
Well, I tell you what, we offer our Rub It Snout signature all grub rubs at your local Harps, and it's also served at Grub's Bar and Grill in the Northwest Arkansas area.
I'm going to go check out your full product lineup at rubbitsnout.com.
Spread the rub.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you're a fence builder or have building experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay, health, dental, and vision benefits, plus a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Are you a contractor needing some color picking help for your customers? The Paint Store in Van Buren will do that. We know what contractors need. We've done it for 33 years. Send your customers to us. We will take care of them in a friendly way. Let us do some work for you. Our blend of Richards paint makes the choice easy. The Paint Store in Van Buren is ready to help your customers right now. Call us at 474-4505 or stop by 1414 Fayetteville Road in Van Buren.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC is the River Valley's truck superstore. No one has a bigger selection of new and pre-owned trucks. If you need a regular cab work truck, Harry has them, and the biggest selection you'll find anywhere. Over 60 full-size pre-owned trucks are in stock now, and over 250 pre-owned vehicles are on the lot. And for the first time in 90 days, new 2021 trucks are on the ground. When the other dealers don't have it, Harry does. The area's truck superstore, Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Oh my goodness.
The Golf Nut has been Fort Smith's #1 golf shop since 1994. It's not too early to start thinking about that special someone on your list. So stop in now and check out their great selection of in-stock inventory. As always, check Facebook for daily specials. For all of your golfing needs, stop by the Golf Nut today, 5121 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith.
Oh, wow!
This is a special announcement for residents of Ozone, Oark, Lake Ludwig, Harmony, Mount Vernon, areas north and west of Clarksville. Wave Rural Connect is coming to you. The Clarksville Zone is opening on December 9th, bringing big city internet to rural Johnson County. Fiber internet, TV, and phone provided by Arkansas Valley Electric, a local company serving local residents. Visit WaveRuralConnect.com for more. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Hi, it's Phil Elson for CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers in Russellville and Fayetteville. Since 2005, the Wilson family has been making the best burgers, fries, and shakes in all of Arkansas. Their award-winning food is a must-stop before or after every Hog game. And now you can bring CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers home to your kitchen. For the first time ever, CJ's is sharing its secret Butcher Boy seasoning with you. Pick up a bottle at either location today to change the way you cook forever. CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers. When all you do are burgers, they have to be the best.
Don't you just hate that? Sitting in a tire store waiting room while your car's being serviced? That's the last place you need to be with work and kids and the 10 million things you need to be doing. Well, don't. Free shuttle service. Pickup and delivery free when you spend $75 and only $10 if less. Jody'sAuto.com will make your life easier. Hi, Kim Bircher. 3 locations, 1 in Van Buren and 2 in Fort Smith. One stop. We do everything. So you don't have to go from place to place for tires or service or repairs or maintenance. We are local. 37 years and voted best of the best time and time again. We will pick up and deliver or shuttle you so you don't have to waste your time. Honesty and customer service is always our #1 goal. We will make your life much easier at Jody'sAuto.com, JODYS Auto.com.
ESPN 95.3. The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
He's going to throw short, complete to his tight end, Latu, inside the 10-yard line. Ball's on the ground. Hogs recover it at the 1. Busta Brown forced it out, and then he fell on the football.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here and hitthatline.com.
Still playing musical chairs with some of the premier college football coaching jobs in the country, including Oklahoma and Notre Dame. Do want to share with you a guy that would be a pretty high-profile one that would be interested in South Bend.
All right, let me tell you about our friends Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan at Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive at the entrance to Riley Farms. If you and your family's looking for a new place, new dentist, maybe your dentist is retired, maybe you're new to the area, or you're just not comfortable where you're at, Dr. Sparkman and Dr. Brogan make sure you have a comfortable experience every time, whether it's braces, implants, cosmetics, or just a general cleaning that you need to do every 6 months. Stop in and see them at the entrance to Riley Farms, or see more online at RileyFarmDental.com. Call 479-226-3500, 226-3500, or again, RileyFarmDental.com.
Jordan Strick, who is a sports director in Toledo for WTOL 11, is 100% certain that Matt Campbell is interested in the Notre Dame job. My guess is when he was at Toledo, they had conversations about that job, so keep an eye on that. Now, there's speculation. I know I was talking to Clay about this yesterday, and he shot it down, but there's speculation about Luke Fickell going to Notre Dame. I think those are the two guys that a lot of Notre Dame people. You got Marcus Freeman, who's a former Ohio State defensive player, is their current defensive coordinator. No, Kelly's trying to bring him down to LSU, make him the highest paid in college football. You've got Tommy Reese, who used to play quarterback at Notre Dame. That was the OC there. He's interested in the job. Those are the kind of the four guys that I would be paying attention to for that Notre Dame gig.
It's still one of the best jobs in the country. It's the ultimate pressure cooker. I think Clay, I heard yesterday, described it as the ultimate fishbowl job. But you're not in a conference. You've got that NBC deal. You know, at some point, I think Notre Dame does ultimately join the ACC, whether that's 5 years from now or 15 years from now. At some point, the construction of college football's championship and playoffs is going to almost require that. But the way Notre Dame's set up, you know, from what I've read, and I heard Zach talking about this, you know, Brian Kelly was probably making close to the money he's going to make at LSU there. Because you get like $4 million a year, and I know it's not released because they're private, but he was talking like $4 million a year is what the reports have been, and then you keep all your outside money there. So he was keeping his shoe money and all that stuff, where at most schools that goes back into the university. So he had a pretty sweet deal at Notre Dame's got a sweet deal at LSU. 12 years, they'd kind of heard all the sermons, so he moves on. But there's going to be a lot of people I would think have interest in Notre Dame because it's still Notre Dame.
What does that tell you, though? If he's making the same money or about the same, what we'd assume, we don't know for a fact, but we assume 9.5 is what he's making at LSU. That tells me that he doesn't feel like he can win a national championship at Notre Dame, and he can win at LSU.
And if everything falls just the way it's supposed to fall for Notre Dame this weekend, they could be inside that top four come Sunday afternoon, come noontime Sunday. And now he's gone to LSU, and his team's going to be headed to the college football playoff maybe as the third or fourth seed.
I'm going to be honest, based on what I heard from Gary Barta last night, it doesn't look like they're going to put them in, which is it's a bummer, and I know that most of you don't feel bad for Notre Dame kids, but I think about all the hard work, effort, and stuff they put into the offseason, and if they have no game this weekend, they have no championship they're competing in, but Gary Barta did touch on that. Let's go and play that clip, might as well. He did touch on that last night, talking about the prospect of not having Brian Kelly there as the head coach of Notre Dame.
Gary, Notre Dame at number 6, their resume is complete, so there's no projecting about whether they might win or lose a game. Their season is over. Yet that resume changes without Brian Kelly now that he's moved on to LSU. It's in the selection committee protocol. You can evaluate that. How do you anticipate that being evaluated in the final ranking process?
You make a good point, Reese, that committee obviously was aware of all the coaching changes while we were going through the rankings. This week it didn't apply because the games had occurred, and we evaluated based on those games. Once the championship games wrap up, to your point, our protocol does include the ability for the committee to consider a player or a coach not being available, and should that have an effect on the outcome of a game, that can be considered. At this point, we'll have to wait and see how that factors in, but it is one of the criteria that's now added to strength of schedule, to head-on-head competition and winning championships, etc.
I read into there's no chance we're putting them in the playoff without their head coach.
I think some things have to – but if Bama loses to Georgia, if Cincinnati lost to Houston and Oklahoma State loses to Baylor, you know, you kind of look at next man up is Notre Dame. Are you going to leapfrog Ohio State over them? They didn't play after their loss. You're going to bring up Ole Miss? I guess you could make a case for Baylor if Baylor beats Oklahoma State, but they're going to have to leapfrog a lot of teams at 11-2.
5 spots.
I'm not saying it's a shoe-in. I'm just saying it's not a far-fetched to think that Alabama and Oklahoma State at least would lose.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just keep Cincinnati out of the conversation because they'll be a pretty good favorite over Houston. But, where do you go from there if those two scenarios happen and keep the committee's credibility in the matter?
See, I'm going to catch 22 because I think it's unfair to the student-athletes at Notre Dame for finding that hard. But at the same time, I mean, whether it's Tommy Rees, their former quarterback, or Marcus Freeman, their defensive coordinator, I just don't think they'd stand much of a chance. And listen, you could say that about an A team going up against Georgia, which if they would likely end up in that 4 slot. I don't know, and that's a lot of what ifs. Based on what Barta just said, again, the Iowa athletics director and the college football playoff committee chairman, it didn't sound like he would be too keen on that. But you just kind of laid it out. They might not have a choice.
I mean, where else are you going to go?
Yeah,
I mean.
But that's three games that would have to go a certain way.
What if Michigan loses to Iowa? I mean, but we've seen massacres before in conference championship weekend. So the only guarantee is there's going to be an SEC team in the college football playoff. And if Alabama loses, I don't know if it's a guarantee you got to, or if Alabama wins, but I guess of all that else, that would help Alabama maybe stay in that top 4 if that scenario I laid out came true. If Cincy lost, if all of that happened this weekend, if Cincinnati lost, and I don't think because that game's at Cincinnati, that would be hard fetch for me to believe that's going to happen. Oklahoma State beating Baylor, that's a toss up at best, right? How much? I'm sure Baylor's the favorite in this game. So I mean,
over State,
yeah,
I don't think so.
Okay,
because Oklahoma State's higher and. Oklahoma State's beat them already too.
So we'll just see what happens. I just think it's going to be an interesting scenario if the committee make. And I didn't think that was a solid statement that hey, there's no way they're getting in. That's not what I heard from Gary Barta there. So we'll see. So now I think Notre Dame's they need the right things to happen. But if Oklahoma State and Alabama lose, I don't know who else you're going to leapfrog over them.
I think they'd find their head coach if either Freeman or Reese led them to a win over what we would believe would be Georgia in that case. You couldn't go anywhere else if that ended up playing out like it did.
Urban Meyer would be there by Sunday afternoon.
Malachi Nelson, 5-star quarterback, has already decommitted from Oklahoma and committed to USC. He is a California kid. No surprise there. You're going to see a lot of these Oklahoma commits that might be doing the same thing, not just in California, but all over the place. The Thanksgiving Raiders-Cowboy matchup told 38.3 million viewers. It is the 3rd most watched regular season game ever, according to Pro Football Talk. They're going to take on the New Orleans Saints tomorrow night. Here's Dak Prescott on how they need to get back, and even without their head coach, Mike McCarthy, who's dealing with COVID.
Yeah, it's a great challenge. I mean, we've got to step up to it, though. Obviously, not the hottest. Coming off of a loss, second straight loss, and then obviously losing our head coach. We're in for a challenge. But when you go into an atmosphere like this, you understand it's going to be a heavyweight challenge regardless. And know it's going to be a 4-quarter game, so it's just about us getting our mindset and our mentality right to go do that and to be our best. And for offense, it's about communication, us being sound and us being on the same page in our nonverbal communication to make sure that we don't allow the crowd noise to become a problem or affect us as far as our execution.
I know Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max were talking about Keyshawn's rankings where he had certain teams. The Cowboys at one point in time, many people thought they were 1 or 2 in the NFC. They're kind of middle in the pack now, and they showed the graphic of the playoffs right now. The Cowboys are still in the playoffs, and with the NFC East being kind of clunky this year, they still have a great chance to win that division. They're probably going to win that division, but we keep coming back to the same thing: home field advantage. You don't want to go to Rodgers' house. You don't want to go to Kyler Murray's house, and they can't drop 4 or 5, Tommy, especially against a Saints team that doesn't have a quarterback, whether it's Trevor Siemian, whether it's Taysom Hill. when Jameis Winston went out with that torn ACL, that team has been a shell of itself. And if Dallas can't beat the Saints, then just kiss the Super Bowl goodbye, because it's just not going to happen for them this season.
And right now in the NFC, they've clearly got the worst record of the division leaders at 7-4. You look at Green Bay's at 9-3, Tampa Bay 8-3 right now, and Arizona at 9-2. So they're fighting uphill. They'll have to go on the road, it appears, unless they get this thing corrected in a hurry.
Yep.
And they're going to need some help elsewhere.
Yep, got to do it. Mark Stoops got a new contract that he's got an extension through 2027. So listen to this, how this goes. This is from Kentucky Sports Radio. Every year with 7 wins, he gets a contract extended 1 more year. 10 wins, he gets extended 2 more years. What do we think about that?
Clearly defined expectations. That tells you exactly what Kentucky fans, administration, everybody expects. A 7-win season is more than acceptable there. And I think that's, when you look at it in the perspective of the SEC East and who you have to play over there and where their programs have historically been, South Carolina's had some ups and downs, but more downs than ups. Vanderbilt, a lot more downs than anything else. So you've got a chance to win 2 there. You ought to win. You ought to have 5 kind of built-in wins if you just keep this thing on the same plateau. 8 wins, he's rewarded with this, and I think he understands that, hey, I can make a lot of money, and I can stay here a long time, and 7 or 8 wins is going to keep a lot of people happy in Kentucky.
He's won 10 wins in a season one time in his career, but that is a tough job. We all know that relative to how talented their basketball program is. I do want to touch on this Jaden Hazelwood stuff. Also want to ask about advent calendars. If you follow those, you can jump in on both these, 877-377-6963.
All right, those are some of your headlines this morning. They're brought to you by Matchstick Studios. The winter months are right here, and that's the highest internet traffic of the calendar year. People are at home. You're sitting in your recliner. You're looking at your phone, your tablet, your computer. Is your business's website ready to roll for the winter months? If you need an update or you just need an entire new website, call Jordan and the crew at Matchstick Studios. They take care of all the techie stuff. They'll make sure SEO and all the security certificates and all those things are in place. It's easy to edit, easy to update. And here's the best part about working with Matchstick Studios. It's $95 a month. Your cell phone bill is more than that. And you can certainly see your business is missing new customers without a great website. 479-755-3043, 755-3043, or see examples of exactly what I'm talking about online at modularorange.com.
We brought it up at the start of the show. Jaden Hazelwood, 5-star recruit at Oklahoma in the transfer portal. He played under Jimmy Smith, who is now your running backs coach. Now, he played for him at Cedar Grove in Georgia. They won the 3A state championship. He caught the last-second game when he touchdown with under 10 seconds to go. I put that highlight on my Twitter this morning, Ty Sport Radio. Just wanted to go back and watch. It was pretty cool just to go back because their offense was struggling that game, and then Jaden made a great play. And if you're Coach Pittman, if you're Jimmy Smith, if you're Kendall Browse, if you're Kenny Guyton, what is your pitch? Because I'm assuming they've already made contact as soon as he hit the portal. What is your pitch to Jaden on why he should play at the University of Arkansas? I guess he's probably talked to Mike a little bit, Mike Woods, who's over there. Mike's probably said some good things. He said some bad things. What would your pitch be to the young man of why he should come to Fayetteville?
Opportunity. You got some young guys, and they spread out a lot of the carries this year, but I think opportunity is what. And yeah, I understand. But they spread that out. They throw it around, and then talk about Traylon Burks leaving as a wide receiver. Opportunity there. I think this offense. And I bring up passing or bring up running because you look at what Kendall Browse does with this thing, with his running backs and with his wide receivers. He puts them in different spots. So if you're a running back, you may be catching the ball. If you're a wide receiver and you're great, you may be running the ball. They spread the thing around a lot. Had 4 running backs with 500 yards. You had 1 dominant wide receiver, obviously, with Traylon Burks. But look how many people got their hands on the football, whether it's running back or wide receiver this year. So that would be one of my pitches is a creative offensive coordinator. You got a quarterback that's going to be the nucleus next year with KJ Jefferson. Come in and, we'll give you the ball as a running, on jet sweeps. We'll line you up in the backfield like Traylon Burks. We'll throw it to you. We'll put you in different spots to showcase your skills so that you can make some highlight tapes for the NFL. And I think that's what they've done with Burks. So
they put him in, like you said, they showed
different
that
spots.
he
Yeah.
can play in a variety of different
So
ways.
and you're going to spread out a lot of the carries and the opportunities, and I think that'd be one of my first pitches.
I think that when you look at K.J. Jefferson, your quarterback, because there was this thought that the reason Mike transferred was because he didn't think the quarterback play was sufficient enough for him to get the ball enough. But what we've seen lately is K.J. has been magnificent throwing the football. He has been on target. He's been accurate, 77% completion in the month of November. If I'm Kendall Brown, I don't know. I would assume his former high school coach would be the primary recruiter on this, Jimmy Smith. Maybe it's Guyton, maybe it's Bryles, maybe it's Pittman because of the caliber of the young man you're trying to get to come to school. But I would bring him on the idea of, look how much KJ has progressed this season. This is going to be a dark horse Heisman candidate. Like you just said, we're a creative offense. We're going to put you in unique situations where you can get your hands on the football. And Burks is gone. We don't have that guy. We don't. Now, we've got some pieces around you that would help you out a lot, but we don't have that number one target. I think that Warren Thompson is the second leading receiver on this year's team. Could be wrong about that. Now, he'll be back this next year, and you've liked some of the things that other guys have done, but there's not that solidified alpha, give me the ball on third down on this unit for next year. And this is under the assumption, again, that Treylon Burks is not coming back, which is what we talked about before the show is a pretty safe assumption. That's the pitch to me to Jaden Hazelwood. It's just how much better Treylon Burks has gotten this season. Or, excuse me, KJ Jefferson has gotten down the stretch, particularly in throwing the football.
Yeah, I was just looking. Treylon Burks right now, 66 catches, 1,104 yards. That's coming back over here to see where Burks had in 14 games, 14 rushing attempts and 112 yards there. And I think it got to the point, though, they also wanted to kind of be careful where they put him. But pretty dynamic, and they even let him pass the ball twice. So that's the amazing thing here when you look down. And this offense likes to run gimmick plays. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different players passed the ball at some point at least once this year. So talk about opportunity to be creative and do different things. A lot of all-purpose yards opportunities in this offense. If you've got the speed and you got the athleticism, I think Kendall Browns will find a place for you to get the ball a lot.
I hope that he ends up deciding on Arkansas. He was tied to Georgia for a while. Maybe he goes and plays for Kirby Smart. His recruiting process is going to be one that Arkansas fans are going to be paying a lot of attention to based just on the connection alone that it has to Arkansas. Now, I don't know if any of you have been shopping this week or last week, but one of the things I've noticed that have popped up are these Advent calendars. Now, Jamie May texted in and says, when the kids were young, we did the Advent calendar. It's fun for the kids and the adults while they're young. I haven't done an Advent calendar in quite some time. We were probably in middle school was the last time we did that. But for those that don't know what it is, it counts down the 25 days leading up to Christmas. You have a piece of candy or a piece of chocolate in each thing. Some of the calendars are just Christmas related. Some of them are religious related. However you do it, you put it on a wall, you put it near your pantry or whatever, and you take a piece out every single year. Now, do you and the kids, you've got kids kind of around that age, y'all do it?
No, we never did an Advent calendar when I was a kid. I think Elf on the Shelf has taken the place of the Advent calendar, at least in our home. That's kind of been the thing is the elf shows up. He gets moved around every day, and there's a little something, whether it's candy or a treat or some kind of stocking stuffer. So I think Elf on the Shelf has kind of been our quasi-Advent calendar.
That's what you guys do. And it's different families do different things each and every holiday season as we've now entered the month of December as of today, and it gets people more and more excited about Christmas. Is it acceptable now to play Christmas music since you're in December?
I think any time after Thanksgiving.
Black Friday and on.
Yeah, it's good to go.
I'm with you on that. I think anytime after that. But I have enjoyed. They have them. I shop at Aldi, and I don't want to go over my $30 a week limit, so I didn't get one this past week. But maybe I splurge this next week and get one and do it.
What I'd give to only spend $30 a week on groceries. Wow,
it's not bad, man. I mean, you've worked with me for 3 years now. I don't really spend a lot of money. I'm a saver. I'm a penny pincher. I got a cheap phone bill, cheap insurance,
we'll
cheap rent.
We'll get you some kids one of these days, and you'll find out all about it.
I've talked to several of my friends who are in that stage of life, and they love them, and of course you love yours, but they suck them dry, man. It's every single paycheck.
Oh, but the joy they bring you, Ty. But the joy that comes along.
Not in those early. There's not much joy in those early years. I'm discussing with my buddies who, on average, get about 2 or 3 hours of sleep. I think my beef this morning is, for whatever reason, I'm in that stage at 26. I was hoping it wouldn't happen till 30, Tommy, but I have to wake up and pee at 2 a.m. every night. It is so aggravating.
Well, I haven't reached that stage yet. So.
I have to do it. It seems like every night. And I try to drink water before bed because it's good for you.
Stop doing that.
But my throat gets raspy and dry, and especially down in this time of season. It's, again, I'm trying to be.
And we haven't really, the heat is what dries everybody out because of, being indoors and in the heat and with the heaters on all the time. But we didn't even really reach cold weather at all, for more than a day or two. So, wait till it gets cold. We got the heat on all the time. But, boy, it seems like everybody is suffering right now with some kind of crud.
Jake in Magazine says we were never lucky enough to have an elf on the shelf. We just had a paddle in the rear.
That's exactly, if we had an advent calendar at my house back in the day, one would be about raking leaves. The next day, it would be chores. It wouldn't be treats. It'd be the different chores till Christmas Day. Put the tree up, rake the yard, clean the garage, do the line. Yeah, that's what the advent calendar at Tudor Crafts House would look like.
We had our chores list, which really weren't that bad, and I felt like my brother and I were pretty diligent and pretty good about doing the chores that our father laid out. The only thing I really got frustrated with my dad is during the summer, he used to make us do math, not homework, but math worksheets and workshop, because he said he didn't want our brains to get fried in the summer or something. Like, he wanted to keep them working.
That's smart. My dad's big deal was spelling words, not necessarily in the summer, but every day in grade school you had to come home and do all your words 5 times each, and it was not good if you failed a spelling test. You did not want to come home and have to report that, show that. We had to show our spelling. I don't know why he was such a stickler about spelling words, but you had to handwrite each word 5 times a day, every day, because the test was always on Friday.
I was blessed to have a father that barely passed grades in high school and college. So academia, while he pushed it on us, and you know what I did? I screwed this up. I was smart early on in my stage, so that stayed a standard for what my dad expected moving forward. Mm-hmm. So hopefully my kid is dumb like I am and tries really hard and puts in a lot of effort where he's making A's and B's early on. So I expect that from him moving forward, because my dad to this day, I'm 26 years old, will not tell me what he got in his ACT. I'm graduated college. I have what many consider to be a decent job, and he will not tell me what he got on the ACT.
See, my dad was an attorney, so I never stood a chance. I mean, it was just always like I was under inquisition. So
you'd probably lose every argument.
Oh, no, you didn't even try. I mean, you just gave up. So, yeah, I mean, you weren't going to win. And as he always said, I never ask questions I don't already know the answer to. So, yeah, be thankful how smart he was. But at the same time, there were days that his legal mind, I could have put it to use elsewhere. You know what I mean? Hey, Christmas is here, so don't hesitate to go by Burton Pools and Spas to find all those outdoor presents for you and your family. You can choose from big green eggs, the best way in the world to grill a steak or smoke some ribs or maybe even smoke your Christmas turkey. Plus, they have all the accessories. Maybe you already have a big green egg. Get all the accessories you need at Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith. Outdoor living furniture to make the patio look great. And, of course, hot spring spas. And be thinking about pools and backyard designs for next year as well. Burton Pools and Spas, all the outdoor things for Christmas. They're on 0 Street in Fort Smith, just off I-49 at the 412 exit in Springdale, and always online at BurtonPools.com. Burton Pools and Spas, where they make your backyard dreams come true.
Hour 2 coming up. Let's talk college football playoff rankings next.
Standard Materials Group has immediate openings for ready-mix drivers in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you have a CDL license without an auto...
Back and better than ever. All eyes are on the gridiron as teams are back for another football season. As always, BetOnline is your #1 spot for all the pro and college football action this season. With the new updated site and interface, even more odds, props, and contests, BetOnline continues to be the #1 source for everything football. Head to your website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first first deposit. Don't forget to use our promo code BELIEVE to receive your bonus. That's BLEAV. From football, basketball, boxing, right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of these amazing offers for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Do you know the difference between admission and confession? Admission is acknowledging the truth of something. Confession is a formal statement agreeing that you're guilty. Greg Allman admitted he's no angel, but that doesn't mean he confessed his guilt before God. Romans 10:10 says, one believes and is justified, and with the mouth one confesses and is saved. Confess to God that Jesus died in your guilty place, and then you'll receive His amazing grace. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Pray about it.
The Game Day Lodge in Branson is the perfect place for corporate retreats, golf trips, and team building activities. Companies often kick off the new year with planning or goal-setting retreats, and the perfect place is Game Day Lodge. They still have availability during the weeks for November and December, and Game Day Lodge is decorated for Christmas, so guests can make great family memories. It's the ideal time to book spring golf trips to Branson before the dates fill up. Just search Game Day Lodge on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Airbnb, and VRBO.
Look at the world's most successful athletes like Serena Williams, Brooks Koepka, and Alex Morgan. They don't spend all their days grinding away. They take time to enjoy themselves, like getting together with friends over a Michelob Ultra, because they know that happiness is the key to winning, and that joy is the whole game, not just the end game. Michelob Ultra. 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
The holidays are here, and nobody has a better selection of those outdoor presents for you and your family than Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith. Hi, Tommy Kraft here for Burton Pools and Spas. This is the time of the year where you can think about those outside presents for your home. A new Big Green Egg grill and all the accessories that go along with it. Outdoor living furniture to make the patio look great next spring. Or maybe a hot spring spa from Burton Pools and Spas with over 36 different models to choose from and several that are in stock right now, ready for delivery before Christmas Day. Stop in at Burton Pools and Spas. They're on 0 Street in Fort Smith and just off I-49 at the 412 exit on South 48th in Springdale. Nobody does the holidays better than Burton Pools and Spas for all the outdoor presents that you and your family want. That's Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith and online at burtonpools.com. Burton Pools and Spas, where your backyard dreams come true.
Farm Credit has been a trusted friend for over 100 years. They are ag financing experts. So whether you're a longtime farmer, new to farming, or buying your dream home or land in the country, their experienced staff has a plan to fit your goals, needs, and your bottom line. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com. Farm Credit is an equal opportunity lender.
Have you ever been to River City Bistro for a brunch on the weekends? Every Saturday and Sunday, River City is open at 10 a.m. with a special brunch menu. Eggs and omelets any way you like. Premium bacon, sausage and ham, waffles, eggs Benedict, and a great drink menu featuring mimosas, Bloody Marys, and all your brunch favorites. We will see you for brunch every Saturday and Sunday starting at 10 a.m. at River City Bistro, 7320 Rogers Avenue in the Stonewood Village Shopping Center.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
for today. Sunny skies are high this afternoon into the upper 60s. Mainly clear, low to mid 40s tonight. And then Thursday, sunny skies are high near 75. Friday, back to sunshine, are high near 75 degrees. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Carco Auto Sales. Give them a call at 783-1722 or check them out online at buyfromcarco.com.
You're listening to The Morning Rush live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3 KERX Paris Fort Smith. This hour of The Morning Rush is brought to you by Bud Light, brewed with the best barley, rice, water, and hops to be America's favorite light beer. Bud Light. Please drink responsibly.
The committee has taught us that last weekend, your closing argument carries a lot of weight. It's supposed to be the entire body of work, but we've seen how you play on that last weekend can separate teams.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
People who really want to have a good time won't come to a slaughterhouse. We've got entirely too many troublemakers here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
I don't like you because you're dangerous. That's right. I am dangerous.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com.
I
hit the 7-iron like John Daly hits the 3.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson.
You just gotta keep living, man.
And Tommy Kraft.
We follow orders or people die. Are we clear?
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
Funny text in from Corey and Rogers on our last discussion revolving report cards. Tommy, he said if he got a C on his report card, he was grounded from school, or grounded with the exception of school sports until at least August until his next progress report. It's pretty harsh for a C. I guess that's
all summer long.
I guess. You got a C on his report card, I was grounded with the exception until school sports until at least the next progress report. So some parents a little stricter than others when it comes to grades. I still don't know how I'm going to be when I have kids. We'll have to wait and see on that. All right, coming up, I want to talk college football playoff. The rankings came out last night. What'd you think? Did you like them? Not a lot of pushback on this. We'll discuss in just a sec.
Hey, if you really enjoyed wherever you went for Thanksgiving, that smoked turkey or that fried turkey, maybe you want to do something different for Christmas, or maybe you want that turkey or ham again. Our friends at Arts Barbecue can smoke up anything or fry up that turkey you need for holidays, for the Christmas holiday. So give them a call now at 479-452-2550. They got a great list. You can go to their Facebook page and download a full list of everything they got for the holidays, whether it is a smoked turkey or maybe for Christmas you want prime rib or beef tenderloin or something like that. They can do that, plus all the sides and the fixings as well, from cornbread dressing to mac and cheese to mashed potatoes. They've got all that in the desserts as well. So 452-2550. Start planning now for Christmas with Arts Barbecue, Rogers Avenue next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
You're ahead of Kentucky. You're ahead of Texas A&M. You're 22 in the college football playoff rankings. Now, you hope that gives you an opportunity to play in the Citrus Bowl. We're going to have on SEC Associate Commissioner Herb Vincent on Friday to kind of spell out and tell us how the SEC decides bowl games and the opportunities where Arkansas could potentially play. I think he'll have some good insight from that. He's a Catholic boy, a Catholic high school graduate from Little Rock. We'll talk with him about that coming up. But, Tommy, you've got that to go in for you. But outside of Arkansas in these rankings last night, Georgia at 1, Michigan at 2, Cincy at 4, Bama at 3, Oklahoma State at 5, and Notre Dame at 6. I don't have an issue with those rankings at all. Do you?
No, I don't see anything there that's egregious, and the committee understands the matchups for this weekend and what may fall out of that. The debate's still going to be it's Cincinnati. If somehow, even at 13-0, they get leapfrogged, if Alabama wins, if Michigan wins, Georgia's still in. What if Oklahoma State beats Baylor? Could that put Cincy on the outside at 13-0? They understand the ramifications, who the matchups are for this weekend. I think so far right now everybody's kind of in the right spot. There's no way you can put Cincinnati behind Notre Dame. They beat them head-to-head, so I kind of like the way things are, and I thought it was appropriate to move Michigan ahead of Alabama at 2 after an impressive win over Ohio State.
Here's what I want to happen. I want Michigan to beat Iowa this weekend. I want Alabama to beat Georgia, and I want Oklahoma State to beat Baylor. Sorry, Dad. I just want the Cowboys to beat the Bears. So here's what I would think would happen. I think that Alabama would move to number 1, Michigan would stay at 2. They either put Michigan or Georgia at 2 because they wouldn't want the rematch back-to-back like that. They'd put Oklahoma State at 4, and Cincinnati would play a good New Year's Six bowl game. Now, they wouldn't match them up against Notre Dame. They'd have them against someone else. But I think that's the best scenario that could happen to this point. Now, there are some crazy things. This is, I'm going to be honest, this is the craziest college football season that we probably had since 2007. And if Georgia was to go down this weekend, let's say Baylor beat Oklahoma State, you had some other, maybe Houston beat Cincinnati, that would just add to it. But if you go back to 2007, I think that's the last time that we've had an outcome in a season as crazy as what it's been this year. That was crazier with everything that happened in that final weekend, like West Virginia losing, Missouri lost, and others. But this one comes pretty darn close.
Now, I saw this question posed by someone in the media on Twitter, and it sounds crazy on the surface, but think about it for a second. Is there a scenario and how this SEC championship game could play out where Georgia could lose and remain number 1?
I think if they lost close, like a field goal,
it'd have
touchdown,
or maybe similar ending, maybe not entire game to what you had in the Iron Bowl. You know, it's not a big deal anymore if you go 3 or 4 overtimes. It's not as impressive as it used to be. But could you see a scenario even with a Georgia 12-1 record where they're number 1 in the poll based on their one loss and still feeling like they're better than Michigan? You can say, well, but they lost head-to-head to Bama. Well, Bama has that loss to A&M on the resume. And that would put probably Georgia 1, maybe Alabama 2. I don't think that will play out that way, but you think about all the crazy things that could happen because if Michigan loses, Alabama beats them narrow. I don't think that would be the case, but I thought it was an interesting question asked yesterday.
I think it's possible, and I don't think
it's a long shot, but
I think some people would have issue with it, some people wouldn't. It just depends on how close the game actually is. Now, there's a lot of people, I've seen stuff that people think Georgia's just going to smack Alabama. And again, this week has not been well. Brian Robertson, you don't know if he's going to play for the Crimson Tide. They're starting running back. They have zero depth behind him. George Pickens is back for the Bulldogs. He's likely going to play on Saturday. You've got Alabama coming off a tough loss. Georgia's played 2 cupcakes. They just played Georgia Tech. I'm forgetting their opponent 2 weeks ago that they smashed. Might have been New Mexico State or something. But this is everything leading up.
Charlotte Southern.
Everything leading up to this game would make you believe that Alabama is going to lose. But I just refuse to count out Nick Saban, and I refuse to look past the stat that Georgia has won 1 national championship since 1980.
Yeah.
1. And I know you got a new coach, but you got to remember, let's go back to that SEC championship game where Georgia was up. Jalen Hurts came in, led them back for Alabama. Let's go back to the national championship. Georgia was up. Alabama came back thanks to Tua Tagovailoa. This sets up perfectly for a Georgia failure, and I would not be surprised whatsoever if it came like that to fruition in Atlanta on Saturday.
Now, I know Bryce Young had 560 yards against Arkansas, but they didn't protect him well. He was on the run a lot. Arkansas got pressure. What was it, 4 sacks in that game? We saw what Auburn did to the interior of that line, and they got a lot of pressure. Who do you think has the better defensive front, Arkansas, Auburn, or Georgia? Georgia.
Georgia.
Yeah, I don't. Thank you. So if Bama doesn't do a better job of protecting in the middle of the line and protecting Bryce Young, I think this is a Georgia runaway. I think I could see them winning by 14 to 21 points in this ballgame or more because I am not confident at all with the way Alabama's protected their quarterback the last couple of weeks.
See, I'll flip that up on you. Well, Auburn stoned Alabama. Alabama's defense stoned Auburn. And I know their backup quarterback, TJ Finley, was playing on one leg, but Auburn's offense couldn't get anything going. And Georgia, yes, they do have a better offense than Auburn, but I'm not still 100% sold on Stetson Bennett and this attack. Now, good chance that Stetson wins the Burlsworth Trophy this year, and if he does, it's well-deserved. I'm just not 100% sold that Georgia's offense is going to blow Alabama's defense out of the water. That's where I remain.
Who's going to be that one player that makes a permanent name for himself with an outstanding performance? Could be Bryce Young and seal the Heisman. It could be Stetson Bennett. Could be Jordan Davis. Someone's going to step up and have a career day on Saturday in Atlanta. Hey, make it a career weekend or a full week at Gaston's White River Resort. Winter rates are in effect starting today. So if you stay in the month of December and through the winter months, there's a discount for you. It's 40% when you stay 2 or more nights. right now at Gaston. So if you wanted to go, maybe it fits the budget even better in the month of December. And with the kids coming up with some time off from school later in the month, maybe the Christmas holiday, maybe the time between Christmas and New Year's would fit perfectly into your schedule. Call today and make your reservation. Grab those dates that fit your schedule now and get a 40% discount when you stay 2 or more nights with winter rates at Gaston's. They have 80 private cabins and lodges. Many have fireplaces. Most have kitchens, so you can cook some on your own for breakfast, have great dinners in their restaurant, enjoy fishing all day long. Gaston's White River Resort, 870-431-5202. Gaston's, a first-class time every time.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
Hey, this is Hunter Yurtek, Director of Athletics.
Back and better than ever. All eyes are on the gridiron as teams are back for another football season. As always, BetOnline is your #1 spot for all the pro and college football action this season. With the new updated site and interface, even more odds, props, and contests, BetOnline continues to be the #1 source for everything football. Head to your website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Don't forget to use our promo code BELIEVE to receive your bonus. That's BLEAV. From football, basketball, boxing, right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of these amazing offers for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Do you know the difference between admission and confession? Admission is acknowledging the truth of something. Confession is a formal statement agreeing that you're guilty. Greg Allman admitted he's no angel, but that doesn't mean he confessed his guilt before God. Romans 10:10 says, one believes and is justified, and with the mouth one confesses and is saved. Confess to God that Jesus died in your guilty place, and then you'll receive His amazing grace. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Pray about it.
The Game Day Lodge in Branson is the perfect place for corporate retreats, golf trips, and team building activities. Companies often kick off the new year with planning or goal-setting retreats, and the perfect place is Game Day Lodge. They still have availability during the weeks for November and December, and Game Day Lodge is decorated for Christmas, so guests can make great family memories. It's the ideal time to book spring golf trips to Branson before the dates fill up. Just search Game Day Lodge on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Airbnb, and VRBO.
629-4190.
The bloodline of any modern business is their computer network, data storage, and supporting hardware. So who takes care of one of the most important aspects of your business? Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren can handle all your networking services like cabling, firewall, routers, and VPNs to hardware and software protection from virus and malware. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag technology without the headache.
Whole Hog Cafe on Phoenix Avenue is now open 11 till 8 Monday through Saturday. Whole Hog Cafe has party packs for your watch party, tailgate party, business meetings, or lunch and dinner for the family. You will see a few new items on the menu to go along with the award-winning barbecue and sides. Whole Hog Cafe, Phoenix Avenue, offers online ordering at wholehogfortsmith.com, along with curbside and delivery service. Or come see us 11 till 8 Monday through Saturday. Follow Whole Hog Cafe on Facebook and Instagram for specials.
Frank Roll Furniture is continuing our sale through the end of December on all furniture, bedroom, mattresses, and kitchen tables. We are marking everything down another 10% off our already low sale prices for the month of December. We have appliances on sale also. For instance, GE commercial grade washer $9.99, dryer $9.99. Comes with a 5-year parts and labor warranty, 10 years on the motor, and a lifetime on the drain tub. Frank Roll Furniture, 405 4th Street, Barling, Arkansas. Best seats in the house.
Ready for something sweet, Fort Smith? Larry Rath here from Rath Auto Resources. I just got a big batch of cars. Now I'm on a mission to spread holiday cheer. So forget the cookies, because during my Christmas car exchange, you could save a lot of dough on a Rath Road Ready vehicle, each one hand-picked and inspected in our Meineke Car Care Center, and save up to $4,709 based on the car you choose. That's right, this month you could trade and save. Keeping the car you have, keep it running this winter with a free Winter Ready inspection, half off brakes, and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires. So this December, fatten your wallet, not your waistline, only during my Christmas car exchange. But hurry, this deal's done after the first 61 people start driving better. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. Only at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources, and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
Requires bank approval. Vehicle purchase price affects trade allowance.
ESPN 95.3.
Good morning to the Morning Rush, everybody.
Jefferson in trouble with a blitz coming. He escapes, spins away, still on his feet, fires down the sideline alone at the 15-yard line. Johnson's going to go into the end zone untouched.
All your favorite podcasts in one place. The Hit That Line Podcast Network. Brought to you by Breeden RV Center. Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts.
We're going to have former Razorback Brett Good join us in about 5 minutes, get his thoughts on the college football playoff rankings last night, some NFL comments, and more. And do want to spend some time here just a sec. You do play UCA tonight in Bud Walton Arena, 7 o'clock. We'll have pregame coverage beginning right here, 6:30 on ESPN Arkansas. We also have a thing going on right now at hitthatline.com from Champion Cycling. You remember when you had your first bike, or maybe you haven't ridden in a while? Well, Champion Cycling, they want to help you out with that. They have a great selection of bikes, specialized pivot and lock and cycling apparel and accessories with great service. And what we're doing right now on hitthatline.com is we're giving away 2 bikes, a specialized Elise road bike or a specialized 12-inch Rip Rock kids bike, all coming with helmets. And this, again, is courtesy of Champion Cycling, 5500 Mazard Road in Fort Smith. Find your next ride with Champion Cycling. Again, just go to hitthatline.com. If you have an iPhone or Android and you want to do it on your phone, it's the 3-line dot at the top left of your screen. Click on that and you'll see free bike. And then also it's just at the top of your page on your desktop, your laptop on hitthatline.com. Really appreciate Champion Cycling getting everyone ready for the Christmas season. So this UCA game tonight, a couple Arkansas connections, obviously an in-state school, one that you hadn't played since, I think, 1947. I think that's right. Brandon Vanover, Connor's older brother, nicknamed Big Ticket. That's what he went by in high school. Love that guy. I used to play basketball with him back in the day. He is a graduate assistant on UCA. Now, Drew, this is a little different from Tennessee. Arkansas typically has not played in-state schools over the years. It was a big Frank Broyles thing that he stood by, but now it's changed up a little bit. They're 7-0 all time, but whether it's UCA, Arkansas State in football in 2025, they're playing Little Rock on Saturday. We've seen the baseball team compete. It's just something new that Arkansas fans are kind of getting used to at this point.
Yeah, and I like it. I mean, it's good to have those kind of create some type of regionality in matchups, right? You know, you don't always have to go get on a plane for 4 or 5 hours to play a basketball game or to play a football game when you have teams that you can play in your own backyard. And I think it's good for, you know, the fans of Central Arkansas, of A-State, of UALR, you know, to kind of get their shot at the big dog every now and then. So I'm all for regional matchups. I think that teams in a regional pocket should play every year, or at least every other year.
Here's something else to consider. Hogstats brought this up yesterday. First time Arkansas has been in the top 10 since 1994. That's how long it's been since you've been in the AP top 10. Eric Musselman touched on it on Monday. There are expectations that go along with that. I don't know how many of you have watched college basketball as of like Duke lost to Ohio State last night. When you're in the top 10, you're going to get everyone's best shot. When you're the premier program in this state, you're going to get every in-state school's best shot. So whether it's the Bears tonight or the Trojans on Saturday, they're going to give you everything they got. And we know the Arkansas tie-in with Darrell Walker coaching UALR this Saturday, so you've also got that connection to consider as well. And, Drew, they really need to continue to live up to expectations. And I know there's been spurts where they haven't played that well, but Coach Musselman talks about spurtability. There's been spurts where they played really well this season.
There have been, and it's going to evolve, and it's going to get better over the course of the season, right? We're 5-6 games into the season for pretty much everybody at this point, so you're still trying to figure yourself out, especially in today's college basketball where you're constantly reloading with the transfer portal, where you're having to deal with one-and-dones. You know, this is a growth period for a lot of teams. I mean, just how crazy college basketball is. You know, you talked about Duke losing last night to Ohio State. Duke had just beat number 1 Gonzaga a few nights before that. Ohio State had lost to Xavier. Xavier had lost to an Iowa State team that won 2 games last year. So therefore, Iowa State's, you know, the number 1 team in the country? No, that's just not how it works. And it's a growth period for so many teams, and your main goal is to get your rotation down, to get the right type of guys in the right situation by the time you hit conference play in late December, early January. And if you can maintain and hold on to as close to a perfect record as possible and keep that ranking going into conference play, then good for you. But a loss here and a loss there during this development time and meshing of players and of rotation time isn't the end of the world.
And I thought that I thought they played their best passing game this past week, 17 assists. Now, did have 14 or 15 turnovers this week as well, but you're seeing the chemistry develop, and Chris Likes, JD Note, I think, are sharing the ball a little bit more now. JD still attempted, I think, 24 shots. He went 13 or 24 this last game, but that's what he's going to do. He's going to be your primary scorer. I like when Stanley Mude stepped up with the absence of Adise Toney, who went out with that flagrant 2 in the second half, and you don't want to see – you've seen that twice already this season, and I know that Eric Musselman wants to nip that in the bud because – that's a part that Arkansas, to my knowledge, and y'all help me out with this, I don't really remember that at all this past season. But again, tonight, 6:30 pregame coverage beginning right here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com as we welcome in our guy Brett Good to the conversation to talk some college football and some NFL. Brett, I want to start with the rankings that we saw last night. It didn't jump out to me. I thought everyone was where I thought they were going to be. Did anything stand out to you besides Arkansas being 22 in these rankings last night?
No, I think this is what everybody kind of predicted. And, you know, this is a long season, and everything's out there. Everybody has seen what kind of the resume for all these teams, and it, you know, for the all the way down to the play, what's going to get into the final playoff is going to come down to this weekend, and we all know that, and it'll be how the teams go out there and perform. So I think they've done a pretty consistent job all year of how they ranked everybody, and now it'll be interesting to see how everything kind of moves forward after this weekend.
Tommy asked a good question in the last segment, and I think it's been posed by several college football people. Alabama, Georgia this weekend in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. If Georgia was to lose close, do you think there's a chance that they could still remain the number 1 team in the rankings on Sunday?
I think so. It'll all be how the game plays out. You know, if they lose, they're still in the playoffs. They're not going to get kicked out. And Alabama, you know, Georgia against everybody this year has been almost a double-digit favorite against Alabama. Everybody is worried about this game because the way Alabama has been, and it's the history of Alabama, you know, being under 5 points here. And so if it's a close game, yeah, I could see them being that because they have not gotten that close to losing all year where, you know, other teams have had some tough games. Georgia has been a very solid football team all year, and you've got to respect that, and I think they've earned the number 1 seed.
Brett, I think we sent you this story last night. We're talking with Brett Good, former Razorback, former Packer, part of the Henderson Phillips Employer Solutions team. Brian Kelly, with him moving to LSU, has made a lot of headlines, and there's been some skeletons in his closet that have come up. And your old buddy, Rom Dvoski, wrote this piece on when Kelly was at Central Michigan. Robert Saleh, now the head coach of the New York Jets. Matt LaFleur, now the head coach of the Packers, were GAs at the time. Kelly has them come over what they thought was a party invite. Instead, they are tasked to shovel snow and move cards to a situation they thought they were just going to hang out for a football party. When you saw this story, is that making too much out of just taking advantage of your GAs, or was that a bad move from Brian Kelly back in the day?
Look, both those guys have obviously, it's worked out well for them, so I don't feel sorry for either one of those. But I think as a coach, you don't really take advantage of that situation because that's not what those guys are there to do. They're there to learn. They're there to build, their football knowledge and keep moving in that direction. They're not on your staff to go over and shovel snow. Now, if it was a volunteer type situation like, hey, I'd come over and do this for, get an extra couple bucks. Because, look, GAs don't make a whole lot of money, but I'm assuming he didn't pay him. And so that's where you kind of draw the line is that those guys are making nothing. They work the longest hours of anybody that's unknown because they're writing up all the, the scout teams. They're breaking down the film, and they're just grinding in there. And for them to have to go over and shovel snow last year, it's funny for us, but I think it's wrong on the end of you just don't abuse your power in that situation.
Pete Sampson of The Athletic reported that Kelly spent 2 minutes. It was originally reported 11 minutes, but it changed into 2 minutes and walked out, didn't take any questions or comments from his players. Brett, you've been a part of situations where you've had teammates that have had coaches take other jobs. So I wonder from your perspective, what is the proper protocol, whether it's the NFL, whether it's high school, whether it's college, when a coach takes another job, how should he go about talking with his former players? What should he do on that subject?
Well, it's really hard on programs like Oklahoma and Notre Dame. Those are not stepping stone programs. You're not going there trying to get another job. Those are really good programs. They've had tons of history of success. So those are really tough. And then, you basically got to go in there in college and you've got to listen to a guy, who sat in your home and promised you and your mom that, we're going to get you an education. You're going to be here. We love you. And then all of a sudden just you hear everything on social media as they walk out the door. And there's not a whole lot of conversation after that. I mean, it's really just kind of is what it is. Now the transfer portal has changed a lot where you're starting to see some of these guys that really love their head coaches that are probably going to transfer to wherever they go. But it's a tough situation. It's not easy, but at the end of the day, college is with the NIL and the transfer, it's turning into a business as well as the NFL. And you just got to handle it and go about your day. And these guys have just got to, it's tough when you're so close to the playoffs like they are right now and then the ranking. And you're saying, okay, what happens? What if the scenario changes and they get in there? Is this going to be the same Notre Dame team, or are we going to see the Notre Dame team we've seen for years where they go in there and get blown out? And so it's a tough situation, but it kind of makes you wonder, is there another backstory too of things that went on within the university, both universities, of why these guys left so quickly?
Yeah, maybe a falling out with administration or the athletic department. We don't know. I don't know if we're ever going to know, but something that definitely has come to my and Tommy's mind as well. Brett, Billy Napier goes to Florida. You've got Lincoln Riley going out to USC out west. Brian Kelly goes to LSU. Of Florida, USC, and LSU, what is the best hire that was made between those three schools?
I think with the NIL, it's USC. I mean, we all remember Reggie Bush, everything out there in L.A., of how good of a football program they can build when they can pay money. And I think that's one of the draws that Lincoln wanted to go to because, let's be honest, he looked over, and I know everybody's talked about it all week, but, every SEC West school is bowl eligible, and so that's tough. And if he had come over from Oklahoma and be coming from the Big 12 to the SEC and they start losing, there's going to be some pushback from those big boosters over there of why you're not winning. And I think his credibility of, this superstar offensive mind, genius, whatever you want to say, it would have been hurt. And I think he wants to keep that going. And I think it's, because his ties were Texas. It was in Oklahoma. He didn't have like a huge family out in LA. And I think it's a great hire for him. It's a great hire. It's great move on his part because now he can continue and he didn't have to really battle a whole lot of teams every year in the Pac-12. But unfortunately, we're not going to see a ton of them because, again, they're on the West Coast and we don't watch a ton of West Coast football over here.
Mm-hmm. Brett Good, part of the Henderson Phillips Employer Solutions team, former Packer, former Razorback, with us here on the Morning Rush. Brett, Urban Meyer reportedly has no interest in college jobs. Let's say he did. Let's say that was a fabrication, a figment of someone's reporting. Would he be a better fit at Notre Dame or Oklahoma?
I think he'd be a better fit at Oklahoma. Notre Dame is a tough place to go to because of the education. You've got to hit a certain numbers, and in the history, from what I've heard from Notre Dame, the first time when Urban was kind of mentioned a little bit, it was said that you're only going to get a couple of guys to kind of bend the rules a little bit to get them in. So that's a tough job. Oklahoma, they're going to allow you in. You're going to get a lot of your good players. I don't blame him for saying that he doesn't want any part of the college game either, because I think if he ever does figure out success in the NFL, I think he'll enjoy it, because what he's kind of got to now is there's no recruiting. So he's not having to spend all his time with a bunch of kids that might take their ball and go home in the NIL or transfer portal and leave. He's got guys that are there to paid to be there, and it's like, okay, this is nice. I actually get an off season. I don't have to travel around to all these parents' homes and do all this other stuff. So it's a lot lighter load on him, and for whatever conditions he's had in the past, and on the medical side, that he's able to be helped out a little bit more. So I think it's true that he's not going to leave. I would be surprised, but if he does, it'll be for a lot of money. I know that.
Let's talk some NFL. Cowboys, Saints tomorrow night. Dallas Cowboys not trying to drop 4 of 5. Now, your old coach, Mike McCarthy, will not be coaching with COVID. Dan Quinn is going to take over as interim former Atlanta Falcons head coach. Why has Dallas struggled, and what do they need to do against the Saints to get back on track, Brett?
They just got to get back to their game. They started off the season so hot with turnovers and control the line of scrimmage. And Diggs had some good games, and Dak's had some good games, but they've had guys out at receiver. This COVID is really kind of, for the entire NFL, the Dallas Cowboys have been hit hard with COVID. And I know Jerry said something about being vaccinated, where they've had the shot or they've gotten COVID this season. Amari Cooper's known that he's back, but he's saying he's having some lingering effects. So what they've kind of got to do at this point in the season is they've got to just kind of maintain. It's going to be hard going and playing without your head coach, and they got some other coaches that aren't going to be there. And they've just got to maintain and get healthy and get this program back. And Mike McCarthy, give credit to him. He actually, everybody knew he was going to be out, had COVID, and he still did his media, responsibilities, and he was coughing a little bit throughout that process. So you just hope these guys come out of this healthy, and then they can kind of move forward. But for Thursday night, you try and control the line of scrimmage, try and control the tempo, try and, get back to those turnovers. And this is a great opportunity for Dan Quinn, because his defense has gone up. They've gotten better, and everybody's now talking to him. Maybe is he going to get another head coaching job next year? And so this will be a good opportunity for him to go out there and showcase that.
I know the Baltimore Ravens won a gritty game on Sunday Night Football. Lamar threw 4 interceptions, but they still got it done. They're still kind of near the top of the AFC. We've got the Kansas City Chiefs, who have won 4 straight. They had a bye this past week. They'll play this week. And then the New England Patriots, another hot team. Are we on track for another New England Kansas City AFC championship based on what you've seen these last few weeks?
The way they're both getting hot and the consistency that they're playing over everybody, absolutely. Baltimore, you talk about, it was an ugly, Lamar Jackson throwing that many picks and then them still coming out of the way to win, shows you Cleveland never could make the step up to what everybody thought they should. Cleveland the last couple of years probably has a legitimate chance to be in the AFC championship game against Kansas City. You talk about all these, the way those games went down, and they just haven't made that next step forward. And Baltimore's kind of taking a step back. And the Bills started off hot. Their defense is still really good, but they're not kind of making that. So I think you're right. I mean, it's going to come down to the teams that can play consistency. It's the consistency of the offensive line, the quarterback play, and that's what the deal of Kansas City has done. They have not thrown as many interceptions, and we know how much that helps as you get into the playoffs. So it'll be an interesting run as we get closer and see who's going to have the home field advantage, because we all know what Bill Belichick can do. He's got the track record and the history of everything, and so it's really interesting to watch how he has developed this team in New England and how dominant they've been. And you see a lot of people jumping on their bandwagon for their defense, even on the fantasy side, because they've been so dominant this year.
Brett, last thought before we let you go. You get a chance, along with every other Arkansas fan, to see where the Razorbacks will be bowling this Sunday starting at 11 a.m. You got a chance to play in Florida. Where do you want to see Arkansas play in a bowl game this upcoming season?
Florida's a lot of fun. Obviously, as a fan, if you can have the opportunity to go down there, Florida would be the best opportunity because it's going to be warmer. So that'd be a great place. And then you just look at the matchups, whether it be a Big Ten matchup or you go out to the ACC. I think that's what's intriguing about these games. Kind of really see where we match up, and hopefully you can come away with a bowl victory because. Now this, even though the bowl victory would be great, but this time where we get to start practicing a little bit more and all these young guys get this extra bowl practice, this is going to be a big stepping stone moving forward to next season. And so you just they don't care where they go. They want to go there, they want to win, and they want to dominate, and they want to make that next move in the right direction, and that's what's exciting.
Brett can talk all things football. He can also talk all things employee benefits, health insurance, staffing management solutions. He's part of the Henderson Phillips Employer Solutions team. Brett, they can give you a call at 479-651-2292, and that is your personal cell phone number, my man.
Well, that's right. You can call me that number. You can text me. I had text last night, so we can just start the conversation and see where we can help you out.
Plus commercial or personal insurance needs. Again, Brett can help you out with a variety of things. Again, his number is 479-651-2292. That's 651-2292. Brett Good with Henderson Phillips Employer Solutions. Well, Brett, we'll find out where the Hogs play on Sunday, and we'll discuss it next week, my man.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, guys.
All right, so Lincoln Riley was on Scott Van Pelt's edition of Sports Center 2 nights ago, I think is what it was. Now, you cut the clip. You heard this. That is just tomfoolery. Like, no one believes this actually happened. I want y'all to take a listen, and this is why people don't believe coaches sometimes. Here is Lincoln Riley on how the USC job played out, fell in his lap, and the timeline of which he made the decision.
When did this opportunity present itself to you, Lincoln, in a way that it was real enough that you really had to ponder what you were going to do?
Yeah, very early Sunday morning, USC engaged with some interest and wanted to have a conversation. And honestly, Scott, that's the first conversation at any point in my time at Oklahoma that I'd ever had with another football team. But I think just the history, the tradition, the excitement of the new opportunity.
So let me make this clear. In less than 24 hours, because it was announced on Sunday afternoon that he was going to be the USC coach, or Sunday night, whatever it was, he made the decision to jump ship from Norman to go to Los Angeles. This is why people sometimes don't believe coaches. Now, I'll say this about Sam Pittman. Sam Pittman, when he doesn't want to answer a question about injuries or something, it's like, or maybe a player or something, he says, I really don't want to answer that question. I don't want to speak for him. He doesn't make up stuff for the most part. I've listened to a lot of his stuff when he's been asked about injuries, about this, about that. He'll either say, no, I really just don't want to touch on that, or really don't that. He doesn't just spew worthless venom. That can't I say venom? It's not that bad. But, I mean, Drew, that's crap. Everyone listening knows that's crap.
How do you make a life-changing decision? I mean, how do you console with your wife? And I know all you have to do is say, hey, they're talking about giving me close to $100 million in the next 10 years. They're going to buy houses. Like, yeah, I get that. But when you have a wife, when you have 2 young daughters, you don't make a life-changing decision. You don't move from the middle of the country out west in a matter of 4 or 5 hours. Nope. That conversation doesn't happen that quickly. I mean, I don't care how good your relationship is. You can't sit down and discuss and plan the next 10 years of your life in 3-4 hours. Also, while you're in communications with another university, you're in communication with your agent and everything else that goes in between. Oh yeah, and his assistants were flying out later that night. So you're telling me you had time to talk a life-changing decision with your wife, your kids, your agent, your university, and your assistants in 4 or 5 hours? I don't believe it.
I don't either. So we'll talk more about that coming up, because that is just not true. Hey, we're brought to you this morning by 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. If you've experienced the live music, or you've had some of the delicious wings that I like to try, whether it's the 906 or Black and Blue, the Carolina Reaper sauce with them is fantastic. Plus, you can come check out their new menu items that are made from scratch in their kitchen. Again, 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge on Garrison Avenue. That's easy to remember, 906 Garrison Avenue. I am a huge fan of the wings. Their flatbreads are fantastic. Also, the sandwiches are great as well. That's 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Sample, indulge, and escape at 906 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith. When we come back, your hog update is next.
Shop local, eat local, be local.
This is former Razorback Kenoy Kennedy, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Standard Materials Group has immediate openings for ready-mix drivers in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you have a CDL license without an automatic restriction and want to be home every night, want to work with a company that offers great pay, benefits, and a great team environment with growth opportunities, apply today at jobs.crh.com. Again, that's jobs.crh.com. Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Tired of wearing contacts, glasses, or bifocals? Volt Vision of Northwest Arkansas has an option for you no matter your age. LASIK or clear lens exchange. Quick 15-minute procedure, easy 24-hour recovery, and freedom from contacts, glasses, and or readers. Volt Vision, that's VOLD Vision. Mention ESPN for $500 off your LASIK or clear lens exchange procedure. Volt Vision, the official eye care provider of the Arkansas Razorbacks.
The temperatures may be cooling down, but at Wheels RV in Northwest Arkansas, the deals are still red hot. Whether you are enjoying one of over 50 state parks or tailgating with your favorite team, Wheels has the right RV to help you enjoy fall in the natural state. And at Wheels RV, every new unit comes with a lifetime warranty. So get out to Wheels and see why they were voted best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
When you want beer, you go to a bar. When you want top shelf spirits, wines, handcrafted cocktails, and cigars in an atmosphere benefiting a destination, you go to 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Try our new menu items including fish and chips, classic club sandwiches, Caesar and Cobb salads, or stick to your favorites, dine in or carry out. Enjoy our state-of-the-art air filtration system. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge, defining nightlife in downtown Fort Smith. Doors open at 4 Tuesday through Saturday.
Needing your roof repaired? Ramos Roofing is a local company that has over 25 years of experience, specializing in your residential or commercial roofing needs in the Oklahoma area. Ramos Roofing, a company you can trust, offering discounts to senior citizens, law enforcement, or healthcare workers, and assists in your insurance claims. Ramos Roofing, standing behind their work so you can stand under it. Call 479-420-9903. That's 420-9903. Ramos Roofing, working with you to build a better home.
We will make your life easier. Jody'sAuto.com will pick up your vehicle at your office or home or wherever. Take it to one of our 3 locations in Van Buren and Fort Smith. Perform any service your vehicle will ever need and deliver your vehicle back to you. Hi, Kim Bircher with Jody'sAuto.com. No missing work. No finding a sitter. No sitting in a waiting room. No wasting your precious time that you don't have. Many of our customers tell us, you're saving me money. Pickup and delivery, it's free when you spend $75 and only $10 if less. With our 3 oil change specials, you're going to find adding $10 will mean nothing. And we always have free shuttle service. You bring your vehicle to us and we will take you and pick you up in our vehicle. Honesty and customer service is always our #1 goal. We will make your life much easier. Jody'sAuto.com. JODYSauto.com.
For a limited time, Art's Barbecue and Burgers is serving up some great combo platters with all your favorite choices from Art's. Ribs and brisket, catfish and brisket, pulled pork and brisket, plus catfish and ribs. And you can add a hot link, sausage, or 2 tamales to any of the combo platters. Make your combo plate any way you want it to be. And don't forget, every Friday night is all-you-can-eat catfish at Art's Barbecue and Burgers, Rogers Avenue next to Buddy's in Fort Smith. Real smoked barbecue.
Congratulations, you're having a little girl.
At that moment, everything changed. Our hopes and dreams for ourselves were instantly replaced by our hopes and dreams for her. We got life insurance policies from Shelter Insurance, so that regardless of what life throws at us, we'll still be able to provide the world to her.
Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Ask Shelter agent Phil Hicks about a free insurance review.
Did you invest in real estate only to find out that real estate takes up too much of your time? If you answered yes, then it's time to make a call to the experts. With more than 30 years of combined property management experience and more than 16,000 units managed, Trinity Multifamily are the ones to call. Get your life back. Call Trinity Multifamily at 479-452-1817 or online at trinitymultifamily.com. Trinity Multifamily, your teammate in the real estate game.
TGI Fridays is the best place in Fort Smith for food, fun, and football. Your locally owned TGI Fridays in Fort Smith has your favorite beers on tap. And Thursday through Sunday for bar football, all drafts are just $2. Fridays is the best place to watch football with plenty of TVs so you won't miss a second of the action while enjoying famous Fridays appetizers like the loaded potato skins or Friday's signature whiskey glazed sliders. It's food, fun, and football with $2 drafts Thursday through Sunday at your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith.
ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Oh, yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Arkansas wins the national championship! The Arkansas Razorbacks have completed the dream season!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush.
Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
Arkansas, UCA tonight on ESPN Plus and right here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. So I always want to do this whenever Arkansas is played on streaming, whether it's football, baseball, or basketball. You do not have to have an ESPN Plus account to watch this game tonight. What you do need to have is an iPad, a tablet, an iPhone, a Roku, a smart TV, or somewhere where you can put in your cable subscription, as long as you have ESPN and the SEC network, into the app. There you can watch it. I think people get confused about this. I just want to remind everyone, you don't have to buy an ESPN Plus subscription on top of all the other crap that you have to buy. You just have to have a cable subscription or an ESPN subscription, and then you can type that in. Correct?
That is correct. Although
Okay.
I would advise people to get the ESPN Plus because it does just make it a whole lot easier. And plus everything else that you get, I mean, I'm not trying to do a commercial for ESPN
Are they
Plus.
paying you or
for
something?
ESPN. They're not. I've really enjoyed it. I mean, from everything that you get from, the entire back catalog of 30 for 30s, you get Peyton's Places, Eli's Places. If you're into mixed martial arts, they have tons of UFC stuff on there that I enjoy watching as well. So, I think it's actually a pretty good value for all the streaming services that I pay for, plus all the games that you get. It's probably the best value one that I have. So I honestly would get it.
I'm going to intercept the check in the mail that you just received from Bristol from corporate on that. Hogs are 22 in the latest college football playoff rankings. They move up from 25 to 22, the highest they've ever been since this ranking started. Pretty special for this team to be where they were 2 years ago under Chad Morris and where they've been under Sam Pittman. Can't wait to see again. Reminder for Bowls, 11. It's a weird time. They want to get it in before the NFL. 11 a.m. is the college football playoff ranking selection show, plus they'll announce the other bowls as well. So again, that is 11 a.m. this Sunday. Arkansas true freshman defensive lineman Solomon Wright. He's out of Vian, Oklahoma. Little undersized, but dominated Oklahoma high school football. He was the number 9 player in the state, and he has now entered the transfer portal. So we've talked about the different guys that you want to get specifically that are former Oklahoma Sooners. Well, you've lost him. You lost, who was the other guy that was in the portal? I cannot think of it. It was, y'all help me out with this. I cannot think of his name.
I'm drawing a blank.
That's I think the second one this offseason and I say this offseason that Arkansas lost. But, yeah, that's on the defense line. You love to have as much defensive line depth as possible. So you lost one of your guys. Vito Calvaruso, and Tommy's been 100% correct in saying this. We gave Scott Fountain a lot of grief last year and the early part of this year, and some of it was deserved. Some of it people were just angry at certain things. So they took it out on your special teams coach. Well, you have the best freshman kicker in all of college football. Reed Bowers actually looked better punting as of late. You're not getting punts blocked or anything, which helps. Their punt return coverage has been better. And Vito Calvaruso has the number 1 kickoff grade in college football. So you got the best freshman kicker in all of college football. You got the number 1 kickoff kicker in all of college football, and things are trending in the right direction there. And hopefully Bryce Stevens or A.J. Green can start taking punts and kickoff returns back. We know Nathan Perotti took one back in Little Rock, but if they can get some electrifying players there, that would be the last piece to the puzzle. I know that Phil was probably excited that Jersey Wolfenberger was named SEC Freshman of the Week. She's fun to watch, man. If you haven't watched Arkansas women's basketball yet, they play UCF in Orlando. Phil gets to go all these fun places.
He does. Fortunately, though, for the rest of us, so he doesn't get to rub it in. He was supposed to go to Disney World either today or tomorrow, and since the team decided that they would rather spend an extra day in New York, and Phil obviously didn't get to go to the UConn game, he doesn't get to go to the Land of the Mouse. Okay. So at least he's not getting to rub it into all of our faces by having a free day at Disney World.
Not all the way. And by the way, Wayne in Fort Smith, Derek from Fayetteville, and Race in Van Buren, thank you for reminding me that running back Josh Oglesby had entered the transfer portal. I could not for the life of me think of who it was.
Could have given me 100 guesses, probably would never came up with it.
I knew who it was because I read multiple stories about it yesterday because it kept saying he's the second player to enter the portal. It's the second player, and I just couldn't remember that it was the track star Josh Oglesby that had been the first one because of the running back depth in this room. And that's going to do it for your Hog Update, and it's brought to you by Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
We've got some Oklahoma State fans that listen to the program. Stillwater's not too far off. Good contingency in Tulsa. Here was what Kurt Herbstreit had to say last night, and I agree with him. You win on Saturday against the Baylor Bears, you're in the college football playoff.
First of all, if you're a Oklahoma State fan or a Cincinnati fan, you want to see Georgia win their football game. You know, it's very simple. They win, yep. It makes it a very easier path for both those teams to get to where they want to go. I think Cincinnati would help them. They're playing a great opponent, and they've been up in this ranking all year long. So I don't know, David. The Pokes, if they go out and lay a hammer on Baylor, maybe they make a strong enough statement to go by. But as we sit here right now, I like to watch that final argument before I can say definitively one way or the other. But I would definitely sit here right now and give Cincinnati the edge. They win. I think they're in a great spot.
Cincinnati, Oklahoma State, I don't know who else you kind of put in there. There's still some pieces that can play out for the college football playoff this weekend. And I think a lot of our listeners would rather see the likes of Oklahoma State. I don't know so much Notre Dame, but some other teams making the playoff over Cincinnati, which is fine. I'd rather see if the Pokes in the season with one loss, if they beat Baylor in the Big 12 championship, and Cincinnati ends their season undefeated, even with the win in the American Athletic Championship against Houston, I would give the edge to Oklahoma State. They lost a tough road game in Ames, Iowa, it was a one-possession type of football game. There was a questionable call on fourth down. It looked like Oklahoma State got it, but they called them short. I would not have an issue at all if Oklahoma State advanced. It was that fourth team over Cincinnati.
I mean, I kind of would, you just obviously know my background as a Group of Five guy, and especially if Cincinnati comes out and puts the hammer down on Houston and gets the quote-unquote style points that a Group of Five team needs to get week in and week out, where you don't have to get those in the P5. You just win in advance, and you kind of just move along and don't have to earn those style points. But I wouldn't mind it if Oklahoma State was in over Notre Dame or over another type of team, because it brings variety. And I like variety. I like different. I don't want to constantly see Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, Clemson, obviously not this year, but for most of the CFP, always up there. I want to see different teams be in this CFP format, because then it makes it more interesting. I believe. I'm not a big fan of Alabama, Clemson, round 9.
You would have two new teams. If Michigan was to win, they would be in. And then if Oklahoma State was to win, I think they would put them in. So that would be two new teams. But then we'll see what happens with Georgia, Alabama. It's got a lot of the playoff talk is going to be contingent surrounding the SEC championship. And I'll tell you right now, I know it's been a bad week for Alabama with certain injury concerns. And then on the other side, George Pickens, who's one of the better wide receivers in the SEC, him coming back. Do not sleep on Nick Saban. I know Kirby, he seems relatively confident this week. Don't sleep on Bryce Young. There's a reason he's going to be in New York and potentially win the Heisman Trophy. That offense is unbelievable. Georgia's got to score some points, too. I know about that defense, but they got to score some points, too. All right, hour number 3 of the Morning Rush is head your way. What's Your Beef Wednesday coming up. Plus, we're going to have Jake Crane of the J-Boy Show get his thoughts on these college football playoff rankings, plus the coaching carousel that continues to churn next.
Hog fans, this is Robert.
And this is Matt, and we're from the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville.
So, Matt, check this out. 'Twas the night before game day, and all through the shop, everyone was excited the Hogs would come out on top. The stockings were hung on the goalposts with care, in hopes that a Razorback victory soon would be theirs.
Your dad's head just won't go away, will it?
Nope, and you know what? It never will.
Folks, while Dad seems to be Dad, Christmas shopping has officially begun.
And everybody wants Razorback stuff for Christmas.
The Stadium Shop is the perfect place for all those Hog fans on your Christmas list.
Yep, Matt's right. Whether it's a t-shirt, sweatshirt, or fan cave stuff, the Stadium Shop has what all Hog fans want.
Razorback stuff!
So stop by 989 South Razorback Road next to Baumwalker Stadium, or Matt, if you will, tell them about that interwebs WW stuff.
Sure. Our website is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com. Or you can call us at 479 Stadium, 479-782-3486. Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
Did you know about 1 in 9 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer during his lifetime? Unfortunately, all treatment options can have side effects, like erectile dysfunction, urinary leakage, and bowel complications. However, Space-Or Hydrogel can help minimize your risk of side effects when used with radiation therapy. To learn more about the risks and benefits of Space-Or, visit spaceoar.com. That's spaceoar.com. Spaceoar.com. Sponsored by Boston Scientific.
Whether you're fishing for coldwater bass on Beaver Lake or Table Rock, or fishing for a trophy brown trout on the mighty White River, the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue will catch them. It has that famous rolling action whether it's fished extremely slow or worked fast in heavy current. This Rogue suspends, so it will stay in the strike zone longer, allowing you to catch more fish. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC is the River Valley's truck superstore. No one has a bigger selection of new and pre-owned trucks. If you need a regular cab work truck, Harry has them, and the biggest selection you'll find anywhere. Over 60 full-size pre-owned trucks are in stock now, and over 250 pre-owned vehicles are on the lot. And for the first time in 90 days, new 2021 trucks are on the ground. When the other dealers don't have it, Harry does. The area's truck superstore, Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
There's more to a tractor than just horsepower. A tractor also needs weight to get that horsepower to the ground. With TYM, a heavier tractor comes standard. Many of the TYM models weigh more for the horsepower than comparable tractors from the big names, and tractors that weigh more do more. See Bush Tractor at their new location at 6100 South Zero in Fort Smith, or log on to bushtractor.com to see how they can upgrade your productivity.
This is a special announcement for residents of Ozone, Oark, Lake Ludwig, Harmony, Mount Vernon, areas north and west of Clarksville. Wave Rural Connect is coming to you. The Clarksville Zone is opening on December 9th, bringing big city internet to rural Johnson County. Fiber internet, TV, and phone provided by Arkansas Valley Electric, a local company serving local residents. Visit waveruralconnect.com for more. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Wake up your happy at Hardee's with the new $3 French toast dips. Wait, what? French toast dips sprinkled with powdered sugar and served with a side of syrup. Sugary, syrupy, dippable. Sweeten up your morning at Hardee's. Try the new $3 French toast dips at Hardee's. The sweet one on the 2-3 more breakfast menu. Feed your happy. Available during regular breakfast hours at participating Hardee's restaurants. Tax not included. Price and participation may vary.
When you've escaped the screens and the sun bathes everything in a golden glow, and your friend hands you a cold organic beer that tastes as perfect as nature itself, that's pure gold. Michelob Ultra Pure Gold, the first national USDA certified organic beer. Organic by nature. Enjoy responsibly. 2020 Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Pure Gold, St. Louis, Missouri.
Farm Credit has been a trusted friend for over 100 years. They are ag financing experts. So whether you're a longtime farmer, new to farming, or buying your dream home or land in the country, their experienced staff has a plan to fit your goals, needs, and your bottom line. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com. Farm Credit is an equal opportunity lender.
So this one time at B-Dubs, a couple of friends came in for football, and they asked for the best seats in the house, which is kind of a trick question. Since we've got wall-to-wall TVs, you can watch the game in any direction. Kind of makes every seat in the house the best seat in the house. So when I explained all that, they just sat at the bar, because you got to be close to the beer on game days. Come into Buffalo Wild Wings for the absolute best game day experience the NFL can offer. Buffalo Wild Wings, to the greatest of all times.
Touchdown! Unbelievable!
Please drink responsibly.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, sunny skies are high this afternoon into the upper 60s. Mainly clear, low to mid 40s tonight. And then Thursday, sunny skies are high near 75. Friday, back to sunshine, are high near 75 degrees. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Carco Auto Sales. Give them a call at 783-1722 or check them out online at buyfromcarco.com.
You're listening to the Morning Rush live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3 KERX Paris Fort Smith. This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Farm Credit. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com.
The committee has taught us that last weekend, your closing argument carries a lot of weight. It's supposed to be the entire body of work, but we've seen how you play on that last weekend can separate teams.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to the Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
People who really want to have a good time won't come to a slaughterhouse. And we've got entirely too many troublemakers here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
I don't like you because you're dangerous. That's right. I am dangerous.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com. I hit the 7-iron like John Daly hits the 3.
This is the Morning Rush with Ty Richardson.
You just got to keep living, man.
And Tommy Kraft.
We follow orders or people die. Are we clear?
The Morning Rush starts right now.
It's
Really excited to talk with Jake Crane, the J-Boy Show on the Volume Network coming up. Talk college football playoff rankings, the coaching carousel that continues to spin. And we'll do that in just a sec.
Hey, brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. We've got 50 great state parks. You could plan several of them for 2022. Get in a new RV right now that comes with a lifetime warranty, because all new RVs at Wheels RV come with a lifetime warranty. Stop in and see why they were once again voted best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72, off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, and discover with Wheels RV.
Jake, I know that you've got a million scenarios in your head on how the college football playoff rankings are going to come out on Sunday. The top 6, to me, I kind of expected it to play out. Any surprise during the ranking show last night?
First off, appreciate you guys having me on. Not really yet. With the amount of carnage that we've had, and shoot, it's not over yet. We still got to get through conference championship games. I wasn't surprised to see it last night. It looked to me that if Houston, isn't able to beat Cincinnati, which, there's a chance. I mean, Cincinnati's been up and down, that you're going to have Cincy in there. What I'm interested to see is the seeding, and I don't think it's going to happen. If Alabama were to beat Georgia, would they just flip them? Would Alabama go to 1 and Georgia go to 3? How would that work? So I wasn't shocked at this point, and I've been arguing against Cincinnati, being in, just because we've seen this movie so many times. I'm to the point where I almost want Cincinnati to get in as the 4 seed and play Georgia so they can lose by 1,000, and we can just stop doing this.
Jake, one of the things I'll give you credit for, you were on the Bulldogs train well before the season began, starting in SEC Media Days, and you've been spot on your prediction to this point. But you talk about seeing this story before. We've seen it with Georgia. We saw it in the national championship. We've seen the SEC championship. There's a reason this team has won one natty since 1980. And the question I have is not about their defense, but their offense. If Bryce Young gets going, what gives you confidence that Stetson Bennett and company are going to be able to keep up with them offensively?
Shoot, right now, Alabama, if they can't block Auburn up front, good luck blocking Georgia. That's a different movie. But, look, they've been capable offensively. I mean, you look at Stetson, is he flashy? No, but the thing that I like about Stetson is his running ability. If you watch, whether it's the Tennessee game, you can go back. He's done a great job on third downs of extending drives with his legs. His vertical ball's gotten better. He's been pretty good in the intermediate game. But Georgia's a run-the-pass team. And, I mean, if you look, Alabama, you look at A&M, you look at Florida, some teams that will work their salt on the offensive line, they've struggled to stop the run, especially at the inside linebacker position. And if they don't stop the run against Georgia, the play action to the tight end, especially the way Brock Bowers is playing right now, to me, Georgia's been the most consistent team with the most elite roster. I mean, Alabama's been up and down. One side of the ball will play great while the other side doesn't play good one game. So, I keep saying Georgia's like gravity. You don't know it's there until you're 85 years old and you're hunched over. It's like in football, you don't know you're getting beat by 24 by Georgia until you look up and it's the third quarter and you're like, how is it 27-3?
What's at stake in your mind with Cincinnati in this college football playoff? If they get in, does that further accelerate expansion down the road? If they don't get in, how do the conversations go there? I think Cincinnati and whether they're in or out is going to be some interesting takes on the backside of that.
Yeah, I think it's going to go to 12. I just, when I think about, the saddest part about college football, you can say it's sad, but it's about everything. It's about money. And I just know when they look at the 14 playoff and they're like, wow, we doubled our profits from the BCS. They can, if they go to 12, they can triple the already doubled profits, quote the campaign, funny Will Ferrell movie. So I think they're going to go to 12, really regardless. But, my thing is this. I get it that I don't like when people say, well, Cincinnati needs to be in. Well, you know what? A lot of people need a lot of things. I'm a firm believer in meritocracy. You look at their strength of schedule, it's 100. You struggle against Navy. You struggle against Tulsa. You struggle against Tulane. I'm just not one of those people that, put them in just to put them in. They're going to get destroyed.
When you look at Notre Dame now without Brian Kelly as the head coach, Ty and I were talking earlier in the show and listening to the committee's comments last night, trying to decipher whether or not they get a spot if things fall right, maybe a Michigan loss, maybe that Alabama loss, maybe if Houston clipped Cincinnati. Can you see a scenario, even if there's some open seats at the table due to losses within the top four, that Notre Dame doesn't get in because of the head coaching change being at the center of that?
With Gary Barta leaving the way, who knows? But I think if Bama loses and Oklahoma State loses, they're going to put Notre Dame in. And Brian Kelly has literally just told everybody if Notre Dame does go in, put all your money on the other side. That's how much he believes in Notre Dame. So I think they have to have a couple things go right. The committee, to me, they're human beings. It's almost like a jury. And while, you try and be as straight and narrow and not let, outside stories affect you, there's no way that seeing Brian Kelly leave a playoff contending Notre Dame team for an LSU team that finished 500, I don't know how the committee just look at that and go, well, that takes a little cachet away from Notre Dame. Now, I don't think Oklahoma State's going to lose. I think Alabama's going to lose. What I'm interested to see is, if Alabama loses and Oklahoma State wins, who's that fourth seed? Is it going to be Oklahoma State? So that's what I'm looking at. But I don't see a world in which that doesn't have any effect. Will it have a ton of effect? I'm not sure, but it has to have some effect.
Jake Crane with us, part of the J-Boy Show on the Volume Network. Jake, let's talk about some coaching openings right now. Some have been filled. Brian Kelly at USC, Billy Napier at Florida, Lincoln Riley at USC. But the ones open, let's start closer to home, Oklahoma. I've seen Stoops, but he just got his extension. We've seen different guys get mentioned all over the place. If you were Joe Castiglione, the athletics director there, who would be your number one target right now?
Man, I'd go throw the bag at Hugh Freeze. I don't get it. I don't understand why Virginia Tech didn't do it, and Oklahoma's not part of the SEC yet. See, here's the thing with Hugh. They're not, as long as Greg Sankey's the commissioner, and they're not going to do this. This is just who I wanted. You asked me who I would do it, who I would go get. The problem, as long as Greg Sankey's the SEC commissioner, they're not going to block Hugh from coaching in the league. But they're going to audit your school every year. But they're not in the league yet. So there's, you kind of got a little purgatorical wiggle room. But, you look at Venables. When I look at Oklahoma coming into the SEC, I think Venables would be a great fit because they have to improve on defense. And you've already heard that if Brent Venables gets the job, there's a great chance that Jeff Levy, the OC at Ole Miss, who, if that's what you want to call him with Lane Kiffin, would go be the offensive coordinator there. I think that would be a great mix. Jeff Levy, walking through the door, realizing a Brent Venables defense, you only have to score 27 points as opposed to, scoring 40 at Ole Miss typically every other week to win. I'm sure he'd like that. But no, I think Venables would be a great hire. Stoops, I was very interested to see what happened with Mark since his brother was the interim. Mm-hmm. Congrats to Mark and to Kentucky. A very smart move by Kentucky. But look, I think Brent Venables is a guy you really gotta look at. But man, Hugh Freeze would be a problem in Oklahoma.
What about Notre Dame? Luke Fickell, Matt Campbell. Those are kind of the two big names that get mentioned. Do you have one that doesn't necessarily land on the radar, kind of like with Freeze at Oklahoma?
No, Marcus Freeman would be a guy that if they kept, would be a surprise. I think he's ready. What I'm interested to see is, Luke Fickell said there's only two jobs that he would leave Cincinnati for. Ohio State, and unless Ryan Day goes to the Bears, he ain't getting that, and Notre Dame. So if Luke Fickell goes to Notre Dame, I think you see Marcus Freeman go to Cincinnati. Notre Dame can only pull from a certain pool of coaches. They can't go out there and take a Hugh Freeze or somebody like that. So I think it's going to be Luke Fickell or Matt Campbell, like you're mentioning. I would lean Luke Fickell.
A name that's polarizing in our listening area is Gus Malzahn, who's at Central Florida, but has SEC experience, obviously, at Auburn. Would he be a name or a fit that you think you could see, particularly with like Oklahoma, needing someone to lead them into the SEC? Is there a fit anywhere on this radar right now that you see Gus Malzahn fitting in?
Well, if they just want to run zone read and inside zone every play and have a pop-up book passing game, I guess you could. And no, look, Gus Malzahn, to me, he did a good job at Auburn. He was able to beat Bama a couple times. You got destroyed by Georgia. You got destroyed by LSU. You never sniffed the playoff. You didn't win the division outside of your first year because Nick Marshall closed his eyes and threw a Hail Mary, and then the kick six we all know. To me, I think Gus Malzahn's one of the most overrated coaches in the country and has been for a while. I'm interested to see how it goes at UCF. But in this coaching world, who knows where they may end up. I mean, do I think Gus would do a bad job at Oklahoma? No. Would he beat anybody worth his salt because his offense still hadn't evolved? I'm watching UCF, and it's the same thing. Zone read, inside zone, elementary passing game with really no vertical threat. I don't know how you win consistently and beat top level teams outside of, the Vandy's and because look, you look at the West now. I mean, just the West. I mean, Brian Kelly, Lane Kiffin, Sam Pittman, Nick Saban, Jimbo Fisher. Gus Malzahn isn't those guys, and he can't recruit that way. His biggest problem at Auburn, he didn't sign a high school offensive tackle from 2017 to 2021. He's not a good recruiter. He's not super personable, and he's not socially able to compete with Kirby and them. So
If they did that, I think that'd be a big mistake, in my opinion.
Jack, what's your thoughts on the money we're seeing now with these head coaches? We went over the top 10 paid head coaches, and, of course, Lincoln Riley's deal plus $10 million. You know, at some point, Alabama's not going to sit around and let Nick Saban be underpaid by scale, according to the rest of the college football world. Trees don't grow to the sky, but it never seems to end in college football. Your thoughts on the compensation packages we're seeing on extensions, renewals, and new hires in college football?
Well, you know, Lil Wayne had a great saying, the rich get richer, my name should be Richard. And that's about how it is in college football right now. It's one of the few professions where salaries are going up. I mean, inflation's going up, but coaching salaries are going up. Because, I mean, you know, look, it's such a nuclear arms race, now, and it's starting to bleed all through college football. We've seen it in the SEC, but again, you know, the amount of money that is being made in college football, it's insane. It's insane. I mean, you look at the ratings right now, the amount of revenue that's coming in, and you bring up Nick Saban. I mean, he's got a clause in his contract where he's got to basically be the highest paid guy. And if it keeps going at this rate in the next 5 years, he'll own a third of the state of Alabama and half the natural resources in the state. So, you know, I'm just wondering when he's going to open a natural gas pipeline from Tuscaloosa to New Orleans or something like that. I don't see it slowing down either. It's just part of it, and the people love what the people love.
Jake, before we let you go, I heard it yesterday. Some of our listeners hadn't. Lou Holtz, former Razorback head coach, and a lot of people know him. Give us your Lou Holtz impression before we let you go.
Oh, man, you put me on the spot. That's hilarious. It's like, you know, it's the University of Notre Dame. And there's main things. The University of Notre Dame Fighting Irish believe in. One, the University of Notre Dame Fighting Irish, the best school in the history of all schools. I was at Arkansas. I called the pigs. I will pig stew it. I will pig stew it. I will pig stew it. But when you're in that end zone and you're looking up at touchdown Jesus, you know it's the University of Notre Dame Fighting Irish all the way. There you go, fellas.
Dude, on the spot, and you nailed it. Jake Crane, the J-Boy Show on the Volume Network. If you haven't listened to his podcast or watched it on YouTube, you're missing out. Jake, we really appreciate the time this morning and look forward to hopefully what looks to be a good game on Saturday.
Definitely, and you got to come back down and get on the show, bro.
Anytime, man, anytime. Good stuff from
all right, I see it.
Good stuff from Jake, as always. Again, his college football podcast is excellent. I try to listen every single week. He has good guests on and does a tremendous job down there. Tommy gets to broadcast in the College Football Hall of Fame every day.
It's not a bad gig,
no,
is it?
Not at all.
It's not quite our studios, but it's not a bad second place at all. And impressions are either really good or horrible. That one was pretty good on Lou Holtz. Hey, if you're going to do some cold water bass fishing this month, whether it's Table, Beaver Lake, Table Rock, Ouachita, Norfolk, Bull Shoals, wherever you're going, take along the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue from Pradco. It works in all kinds of conditions, even on the mighty White River. If you're working in a heavy current or a slow current, it's going to stay in that strike zone longer and help you catch more fish. Find the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops all over the place. It's the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue.
We're going to get into our What's Your Beef Wednesday. Since we're short on time, we'll save just the opening intro. And get into that coming up. And again, it's brought to you by CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers. I'm actually sporting this today. We'll tell you about Keith and his team coming up. But Tommy, I think my beef, and I don't know what the proper way to do this is, but Pete Sampson of The Athletic is reporting that Brian Kelly spent 2 minutes with his team. Got that account from several players. I just can't get on board with that, man. And I don't know if it's 45 minutes. I don't know if it's 30 minutes. I don't know if it's an hour. But your final send-off after you take another job, he sent out a text, and then you would think as a player that's put so much blood, sweat, and tears in that program. And listen, I'm not defending Notre Dame or the Irish. Don't hear me when I'm saying that. I'm just talking about as a college football player, the time, the effort, the hours, and for your head coach to leave, which happens in the sport, I understand that. But I think they deserve more than 2 minutes, don't they?
From just reading about this, apparently it was a 7 a.m. meeting. Now, can you imagine trying to get 100 people in that age group, the players are 18 to 22-year-olds, in the team meeting room at 7 a.m. so your coach can tell you he's leaving? Apparently it was a very lightly attended meeting, which may also give a commentary on what they thought of their head coach. I'd like to think that, if Sam Pittman decided he was retiring and leaving, he called a meeting at 4 in the morning, the team's going to show up for him. So it kind of tells you a little bit about where things are at. But 7 a.m. meeting, I know he had to get on on a plane and go to LSU, but not well planned if you wanted the image to be that, hey, they were really sad to see you go.
Matt Fortuna of the Athletic also said that he was talking to an assistant, and the report broke while an assistant was at a recruit's home.
Yeah.
And he didn't know. So imagine if you're an assistant coach, Tommy. And again, this is just a scenario. This actually would happen. Imagine if you're Jimmy Smith, if you're Kendall Browse, if you're Barry Odom, if you're someone on Arkansas staff, and you're in a young man's home in Arkansas or outside, and then a notification pops up on your phone and your high school recruit's phone and their parents' phone. Sam Pittman is leaving or retired at the University of Arkansas. You don't know, and you're looking at the parents that are there looking at you. Say, get out. But I feel bad for that assistant for Notre Dame just in that situation. That's and exactly setup. Right. That's how do you come back from that and talk to that young man ever again about coming to Notre Dame or LSU if he moves on there?
That's on Brian Kelly there, and it depends on the relationship. But yeah, that's a horrible looking tell. But it also tells you how fast these things move. I mean, I know that agents and intermediaries between the schools and the coach are probably talking for weeks on end leading up to this. But when the season's over, these things happen in hours, not days. Mm-hmm. And we saw it with Lincoln Riley. We saw it with Brian Kelly. And you only get one chance to go to a school you want to go to. They don't come back again if you say, hey, let me think about it for a few days. Let me talk to my wife about it. I heard y'all talking earlier about, Lincoln Riley pulling up tent stakes and moving in a matter of hours. Coaches' families, coaches' wives, it's what they're programmed to do. I mean, Jamie Pittman was featured in an article talking about their 18 moves in 25 years or whatever it is. I mean, so, pulling up tent stakes and moving in December is nothing new or really out of the ordinary for many coaches' families.
Evan in Fayetteville texting, you remember when Bobby Petrino got ripped by the media for leaving a note in the NFL player? And I don't know, this was the other thing I was thinking about, Tommy. Whether it's a high school coach, college coach, or NFL coach, do you treat those players differently? Is the difference time that you have to spend with I would think you'd spend more time with the high school kids and then followed short, not too much shortly, but a little less time with the college kids and then a little less time with the NFL kids. But to me, it's not just a huge gap. Like, Petrino should have done more than just leave a note, correct?
Well, but also, he had to get on a plane, get to Arkansas, because what was it, a 10:30 p.m. press conference? It was a late-night press conference when they introduced Bobby Petrino. So sometimes the time and the ability to gather, 50-plus people together, depending on whether you're talking NFL or 100-plus in college, it doesn't work. We were ripping the university for the handling of Bielema, and basically the thought was he did it then so he could talk to his players because everybody scattered after Thanksgiving. But it still was a horrible look at how that was handled. So I just don't think there's one right way to handle all of this. And you think it's easy, and you think you need to spend how is it 10 minutes? Is it an hour and 10 minutes? I don't know. I think it depends on your relationship. But you need to make yourself available at some point to your players and your staff.
Yeah, that's my beef this morning. It's brought to you by CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers. Hey, help Keith Wilton and his team and his family out right now. VoteBestNWA.com. That's where you're going to find the best. And Keith and his team typically win the best burger and the best fries. Now, there's two separate categories. It's not both. It's two. So make sure you vote for CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers as the best burgers and the best fries. Again, two separate categories. Go to VoteBestNWA.com. That's VoteBestNWA.com to vote for CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers as the best fries and burgers, not just in Northwest Arkansas, but all of Arkansas. CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers, when all you do are burgers, they have to be the best. When we come back, an Oklahoma wide receiver potentially coming to Arkansas, that's next.
Just say, Alexa, play ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas from TuneIn.
This is Drew Morgan, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
The temperatures may be cooling down, but at Wheels RV in Northwest Arkansas, the deals are still red hot. Whether you are enjoying one of over 50 state parks or tailgating with your favorite team, Wheels has
back and better than ever. All eyes are on the gridiron as teams are back for another football season. As always, BetOnline is your #1 spot for all the pro and college football action this season. With the new updated site and interface, even more odds, props, and contests, BetOnline continues to be the #1 source for everything football.
Head to your website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Don't forget to use our promo code BELIEVE to receive your bonus. That's BLEAV. From football, basketball, boxing, right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of these amazing offers for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Do you know the difference between admission and confession? Admission is acknowledging the truth of something. Confession is a formal statement agreeing that you're guilty. Greg Allman admitted he's no angel, but that doesn't mean he confessed his guilt before God. Romans 10:10 says, one believes and is justified, and with the mouth one confesses and is saved. Confess to God that Jesus died in your guilty place, and then you'll receive His amazing grace. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Pray about it.
The Game Day Lodge in Branson is the perfect place for corporate retreats, golf trips, and team building activities. Companies often kick off the new year with planning or goal-setting retreats, and the perfect place is Game Day Lodge. They still have availability during the weeks for November and December, and Game Day Lodge is decorated for Christmas, so guests can make great family memories. It's the ideal time to book spring golf trips to Branson before the dates fill up. Just search Game Day Lodge on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Airbnb, and VRBO.
First 61 people start driving better. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. Only at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources, and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
Requires bank approval. Vehicle purchase price affects trade allowance.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
Christmas shopping is easy at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith. Great gifts for everyone on your shopping list. Work boots and clothing. Jelco just added a new tip-top selection of Western boots by Justin, Tony Lama, Ariat, Nakona, and Twisted X. Jelco is now carrying Hey Dudes, plus all the fishing, hunting, archery, and firearms for that special person on your list. This year, shop local at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Would printing from your phone or tablet make your life easier? Are you emailing files to yourself so that you can print them from your desktop or laptop? The Xerox VersaLink and AltaLink lines of network printers and multifunction printers will natively print using your phone's built-in capabilities. Apple AirPrint and Google Cloud Printing just work. To order yours today, give us a call at 783-6600 or visit dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
River City Bistro is Fort Smith's favorite place for lunch, dinner, and brunch. Open 7 days a week, both on the patio and cozy dining room. River City Bistro, locally owned and open weekdays 11 till 8, Saturdays 10 till 8, and Sundays 10 till 3. Want River City Bistro curbside to go? Just search on Facebook or Instagram for River City Bistro or go to rcbistro.com. River City Bistro, 7320 Rogers Avenue in the Stonewood Village Shopping Center.
ESPN 95.3. The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Craft.
It's a good snap. The kick is on the way. It's a line drive. He missed it. He missed it. Arkansas wins. He missed it to the left, and the Razorbacks have won it.
Streaming live at hitthatline.com.
Former five-star wide receiver Jaden Hazelwood, who played under Coach Jimmy Smith, your running backs coach at Arkansas, has entered his name at the transfer portal. A lot of people thought he was going to start his career at Georgia, elected to be an Oklahoma Sooner. It's been pretty solid for them, not necessarily lived up to the five-star billing just yet, but maybe he needs a new destination as he enters the transfer portal. And with his former high school head coach being on staff at Arkansas, there have been connections, there have been lines drawn between the two. Will it happen? I don't know, but it's something interesting that we can discuss moving forward. And we're going to do that coming up after we talk with Larry Rath as we start December. Larry, what you got going on in December for everybody, my man?
Good morning, guys. What's the Christmas card exchange? You know, it's better than a Secret Santa. You come in, get yourself something nicer, newer. It really is a terrific time to trade, folks. You know, your car's never been worth more. And there's no reason to drive something that you don't love. We've got a great inventory of cars, trucks, SUVs, all the most popular makes and models right here in one spot. Come in, find something you're crazy about, and let us give you more for your trade and help you get into that nicer, newer car today at Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith, Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale. And, you know, they keep talking about this used car shortage. There's no shortage here. We've got a big inventory. Folks, you're going to find something you really like. One of our friendly non-commissioned solution specialists, those guys will help you find the right car. And then they take care of all the details. You know, don't worry about your payoff, your trade, all that stuff. They're there to do every bit of that for you. Don't worry about it. Just come in, lay it all at their feet, and let them struggle with it. That's what they're paid to do. They love to do it. We love to help folks get their nicer, newer car. Now, if you're keeping the car you have, you got to take care of it. The best place to do that is the Meineke Car Care Centers. Those guys take care of more and more people all the time. They're setting records every month. And, folks, we still need more customers. We want you to come in, let us take care of your car. We've got a free winter inspection going on right now. We've also got the buy three, get one free on all tires, and that's been a terrific promotion, folks. If you're driving around on a bad set of tires, treat yourself to an early Christmas and get those tires taken care of with the buy three, get one free. We've also got half-off brakes, so some great things going on in the Meineke Car Care Center, but what a great time to trade during the Christmas car exchange. Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith, Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale. Check us out online, rathauto.com.
All right, that's Rath Auto Resources, Fort Smith and in Springdale. Larry, have a great first day of December, and we'll talk to you on Friday.
Absolutely. You guys have a good one, and folks, come and see us.
I looked it up, and I asked Richard, and I think this is correct. Arkansas has never had a five-star wide receiver on their campus for football. Never had one on the team. Now, you were close to getting Dorial Green Beckham. A lot of you would say, well, Traylon Burks is a five-star based on the way they played. Jarius Wright wasn't a five-star. Colby Hamilton wasn't a five-star. Greg Childs wasn't a five-star. A lot of four-stars you've had on campus. But, Tommy, if this was to happen, it would be the first time in Razorback history that you got a five-star to come to school. And, again, I don't know the percentage. I'm not a recruiting analyst. We'll talk with Richard about that tomorrow. I just know it's a possibility and a pretty unique one with Traylon Burks seemingly heading out the door for the NFL draft.
Yeah, and you got to ask yourself, or my first thought at least was, wonder what Jimmy Smith and his relationship were like, but as a head coach in high school, and how that's been a couple of years now. How distant is that? Have they stayed in contact? Were they did they have great speaking terms and everything was wonderful when he was back in high school? All of that comes to mind because that could be the bridge. That could be the opening to get him here. So even though he's the running backs coach, he's got that special relationship. Mm-hmm. So hopefully that was positive at the time. Usually your best player on a football team and the head coach have a closer bond than maybe some others on the team. So that will be an interesting story to follow and certainly could bridge that gap with Burks leaving perhaps.
Mm-hmm. Hazelwood caught the game-winning touchdown for Cedar Grove in their 3A Georgia state championship back when he was a senior, so he's been a special player. Hadn't had the best Oklahoma. I think he has a little over 700 receiving yards career, which isn't the best. You'd like that number to be up, but they do have some talent. We know that. For example, Mike Woods, I think he only managed 386 yards this season. I think he finishes Arkansas year this past year with 681. So Oklahoma spreads the ball around, whether it was Caleb Williams, whether it was Spencer Rattler, they chuck it around a little bit. And I think the pitch that we were discussing earlier would be, Jaden, you have an opportunity to be the number one featured wide receiver in this offense with some good pieces around you. You weren't necessarily that at Oklahoma.
Maybe he doesn't need it with his talent level, but most players need to show the NFL they can do multiple things. Play special teams, run the ball, catch the ball. Heck, even Burks threw the ball a time or two. I mean, I think that's the pitch is, hey, you come to Arkansas, look how much we spread it around with the running backs. Now, you look at the receptions this year, Burks had about 34% of the total receptions. But you look at the opportunity to do multiple things, to display your athleticism. I think Kendall Briles' offense certainly gives you the opportunity to do more than just catch a football.
I think it's just the multiplicity that you're referring to, putting him in unique situations that he might necessarily have been. Not that Lincoln Riley is a dwarf in that category. We know he's one of the best offensive, innovative minds in all of college football. But to be the featured number one guy, at least the opportunity. Now he'd have to earn it with the other wide receivers in this locker room. And you like Warren Thompson, you like. Why am I forgetting? You like Devion Warren. You like, why can't I remember the true fresh? Ketron Jackson. Yeah. There's some guys that you really enjoy on this football team. And now it's just about who's going to step up and be that number one next year. Maybe Hazelwood. And again, this is on the idea of him coming to school at Arkansas. Maybe he comes in and does that.
Hey, we're brought to you by the Fence Man. They're still looking to add quality people to their team. If you've got fence building experience or general building experience, stop in and apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street. You get a $500 sign-on bonus, benefits as well. So they got health insurance and a benefits package and top pay as well, and plenty of work for you to do. So if you've got fence building experience and you want to work for the best, go by and see him at the Fence Man, 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man, he ain't afraid of no work.
You also take on UCA tonight. That pregame coverage begins at 6:30 right here, ESPN Arkansas. HitThatLine.com. First time you played the Bears, I think, since 1947, if I remember that correctly. And it's in Bud Walton Arena. It's also on ESPN Plus, the SEC Network Plus. You're going to watch it on your tablet, your phone, your smart TV. That's where you'll find that tonight. Coming up, your SEC update is next, including an Auburn running back that has entered his name in the transfer portal.
Streaming live from HitThatLine.com.
This is Chuck Barrett, the voice of the Razorbacks, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Your company is known for top pay and great salaries, but how do your benefits compare to the competition? Hi, this is Brett Good with Henderson Phillips. In today's competitive labor market, great pay is no longer enough. Call me at 479-651-2292 and let's discuss your benefit plans to make sure your company has what it needs to attract and retain the best talent. I am Brett Good with Henderson Phillips. Call me today, 479-651-2292. That's 651-2292.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you're a fence builder or have building experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay, health, dental, and vision benefits, plus a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Whether you're fishing for cold water bass on Beaver Lake or Table Rock, or fishing for a trophy brown trout on the mighty White River, the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue will catch them. It has that famous rolling action whether it's fished extremely slow or worked fast in heavy current. This Rogue suspends, so it will stay in the strike zone longer, allowing you to catch more fish. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC is the River Valley's truck superstore. No one has a bigger selection of new and pre-owned trucks. If you need a regular cab work truck, Harry has them, and the biggest selection you'll find anywhere. Over 60 full-size pre-owned trucks are in stock now, and over 250 pre-owned vehicles are on the lot. And for the first time in 90 days, new 2021 trucks are on the ground. When the other dealers don't have it, Harry does. The area's truck superstore, Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
The Big Hardy has 2 juicy charbroiled beef patties, melted cheese, and classic sauce. It's what you order from Hardee's when you want a big meal. A big, beefy, melted, cheesy meal. And with 3 juicy charbroiled beef patties, the really big hearty is what you order when you want a really big meaty meal. A really big charbroiled beefy meal. A really big beefy melted cheesy juicy tasty. You get the idea. The Big Hearty and Really Big Hearty at Hardee's. Feed your happy. Available for a limited time at participating Hardee's restaurants. Price and participation may vary.
For a dependable, fuel-efficient tractor from a company committed to the future, choose a Branson tractor. Each of our tractors is backed by a 6-year limited warranty with models available ranging in horsepower from 22 to 58. You are sure to find the tractor that is right for you. Make sure you call or stop in today at the new location for Bush Tractor at 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Again, that is 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Or you can check them out online at bushtractor.com.
Farm Credit has been a trusted friend for over 100 years. They are ag financing experts. So whether you're a longtime farmer, new to farming, or buying your dream home or land in the country, their experienced staff has a plan to fit your goals, needs, and your bottom line. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com. Farm Credit is an equal opportunity lender.
Are you looking for a new place to call home? Whether you're looking for an apartment, duplex, townhome, or a house, Trinity Multifamily has you covered. They even have options in surrounding states, from Texas to Michigan and Kansas to Tennessee. If you're looking for a new place to call home, make Trinity Multifamily your first call at 479-452-1817. That's 479-452-1817. Or online at trinitymultifamily.com to search rental properties near you.
You have a job, kids, and a million things to do in no time, and now your car needs to be serviced or fixed or tires? Jody'sAuto.com will make your life easier. Free shuttle service. Pickup delivery service free when you spend $75 and only $10 if less. Jody'sAuto.com will make your life easier and take better care of your vehicle at the same time. Hi, Kim Bircher. See, the thing is, Jody'sAuto.com does everything. Everyday oil change specials. Tires are price matched, including the warehouse clubs and all the best brands. Any services, brakes, alignments, all the way to engines, and any maintenance. You are trusting your vehicle to a local company in business for 37 years. Voted best of the best time and time again. Honesty and customer service is always our #1 goal. We will make your life much easier. Jody'sAuto.com. JODYS auto.com.
Hi, it's Phil Elson for CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers in Russellville and Fayetteville. Since 2005, the Wilson family has been making the best burgers, fries, and shakes in all of Arkansas. Their award-winning food is a must-stop before or after every Hog game. And now you can bring CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers home to your kitchen. For the first time ever, CJ's is sharing its secret Butcher Boy seasoning with you. Pick up a bottle at either location today to change the way you cook forever. CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers. When all you do are burgers, they have to be the best.
ESPN 95.3.
Somebody said we've got SEC bias. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Ashley Air. Keeping your home comfortable is what they do best. Trust them with your heating and cooling needs. Go to AshleyAir.com to request service today.
So Sean Shivers, Auburn running back, has entered the transfer portal. That's via the Auburn Wire. Don't be surprised if you have a few more Auburn players who do this in the offseason. I know Mike Bobo, the offensive coordinator, they are not going to move forward with him. So just keep an eye on what the Auburn player pool looks like moving forward. SEC teams probably ranked in the college football playoff poll. You've got Georgia at 1, Bama at 3, Ole Miss at 8, Arkansas at 22, Kentucky at 23, and then A&M at 25. Also of note, all SEC West teams are eligible for a bowl this year. Think about that.
Be interesting, and I'm looking forward to our conversation with Herb Vincent with the SEC office on Friday about the bowl selection process. We'll see what light he will shed on that, because you've got Kentucky with a better record but below Arkansas in the rankings. You've got A&M, who beat Alabama but lost to LSU at the end, below Arkansas in the rankings. How much do the rankings, that college football playoff rankings, weigh into the league office's decision on where to place teams?
Yeah. Herb's a Little Rock guy. Maybe he'll just share with us, too, about where Arkansas is going to go. He's got some Little Rock ties. He's a Catholic high school graduate. Maybe he'll share with us on that. David Pollack last night talked about Brian Kelly's decision to leave Notre Dame for LSU. He believes that Kelly didn't feel like he could win a national championship in South Bend.
Here's what the Brian Kelly thing told me. It told me that Brian Kelly 1,000% thinks he needs to go to LSU to win a national title. That's what it tells me. Like, it tells me they can get there, Reese, because we've seen it. Listen, Notre Dame has academic restrictions. Notre Dame it's not an easy place to recruit. It's not LSU. Okay. LSU recruits itself. LSU in-state talent is ridiculous. The South talent is ridiculous. We don't have to go roster by roster to show you that year in and year out, what that shows. But for him to leave and to go to LSU, listen, what he's accomplished in his career, how many wins he's done, he's proven he's a good coach. He's proven he's a great coach. I just think this shows me that the next step he thought he needed to take to win a national title, he needed to do it at LSU.
I think I said something similar earlier, especially with him on the brink, and I think it would be, as Jake Crane, who joined us at the J-Boy show, said, there's still a possibility that Notre Dame could end up in the college football playoff Final Four, and that's just a showing of we don't have enough talent on this team to win a national championship.
But also verifies that Brian Kelly is a good coach because he's, Notre Dame gets the benefit of the doubt with the process and the system, but he's kept Notre Dame at that level. There's something intoxicating, though, about being sought after in a coaching search or a job search or whatever it is when another school, in this case, comes after you and they offer, back up the Brinks truck. You get that moment. I imagine it. That's why you need agents. That's why you need attorneys. That's why you need family and people around you to keep you grounded, because all of it sounds great. All of it's wonderful. They put their best pitch forward. They offer you more money than you can imagine, and and it all happens in such a condensed amount of time. You wonder how many times the coach or his family or the whole team just get caught up in the process of being sought after.
It's hard not to, based on everything you just led into. I don't know how you don't focus in on that.
And then you've been somewhere 12 years. It's hard to say he's stalled out when he's just right outside the college football playoff. But, coaches are always thinking about longevity, years on their contract, the next guarantee. And as we've heard before, sometimes you just need a new set of problems. That, Clay's told that story with Rick Jones. Sometimes you just need to see a new set of circumstances. Maybe that's where Brian Kelly was at mentally.
And that's going to do it for your SEC update, and it is brought to you by Ashley Air.
Yeah, proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics, Ashley Air. It's the one you want. Schedule your service appointment today at AshleyAir.com.
So we'll hopefully get a better tell and a better insight of where Arkansas goes bowling when the SEC Associate Commissioner Herb Benson joins us on Friday, and I have seen so many different conflicting reports, different predictions. I have no idea. I've got multiple texts throughout this week and last week. Hey, are they going to Orlando? Are they going to Nashville? Are they going to Tampa? Are they going to Jacksonville? And to be quite honest, I have no clue. Do you think Hunter Yurachek has a good idea? Or do you think it's just one of those things where he finds out maybe an hour or two before Saturday or Sunday?
I bet it's a little more than that. I would love to see the emails that they sent out to the season ticket holders, what the response has been for the various bowl games. I think that's a heavy, heavy weight in the decision process. These schools are obligated to sell X number of tickets for each bowl. Florida's a long ways away. Hey, there's some great cachet with playing in Florida. Arkansas's record in Florida is not very good. I heard Ruskin talking about this earlier in the week. The last time you won in Florida in a bowl game was the 78 Orange Bowl. So, it's not like Arkansas has done tremendously well going to Florida to play bowl games. One in my lifetime. And I was, just out of diapers at that point. So it's been 40-plus years. So I think there's just the cachet, the romance of playing on New Year's Day. And you hope to elevate that. But I think those ticket sales and how many people have reserved tickets for the Citrus Bowl or the Gator Bowl or the Outback Bowl will tell the story.
So if I'm Joe Schmo and I make $80,000 a year, not an outlandish salary, but not a bad salary either, and I'm sitting here deciding with my family of two, either my wife or my wife and kid, whatever, if I'm going to take this trip, is it more incentive enough if it's a Florida Bowl to go? Like, how do you, as a family man, I don't have kids, I'm just going to probably go, or we'll see what happens with the schedule getting played out. What criteria goes into deciding if you want to go outside of money? What
It's got to be number one. I mean, you're at the holidays. You've just spent a bunch of money at the end of the year. You generally, I mean, just painting with broad strokes here, but you can't pinpoint everyone's desires. But I just think it's tough when you find out on what will it be, December the 5th. Hey, we're going to be in the Gator Bowl or Outback. Just pick one. They're all right there in the generally same region. Who at that point can pull the trigger? If you're going to fly, you got those things to think of. Just say you get a semi bargain at $300 a piece, and you got a family of 4. There's $1,200. Hotels, a couple hundred a night. You stay 3 nights. There's another $6. You're up to basically $2,000. And then you got tickets. That's going to be another. So now you're up to about $2,300. It's easy to go spend $3,000, $3,500. You're not going to just go to the game. You're going to go to Disney, or you're going to go to some other kind of family. I mean, so it's easy to do that. And let's be honest, planning and budgeting for Arkansas to be in a bowl game all year long, setting some money back, probably not very many people have done that either.
And I'm going to be honest, I think if people were just open about the decision for Arkansas postseason, they would be more likely to go to either the NCAA tournament or the College World Series than a solid bowl game. Now, if it's
I think the NCAA tournament's even harder because you got like 4 or 5 days
to budget. Yeah, it's because they announce it on Sunday, and then you can either be playing that Thursday or Friday. Now they'll shift it back, assuming I don't think hopefully this COVID stuff doesn't have an effect on it. But last year, if you remember, it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. This year, I would think it's going to shift back to that Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So you'll have even less time to forecast where you.
That's why they try to sell all these tickets in advance before you even know what teams are going where.
Yeah, so. And I know that was something I was talking to my dad. Asked him if he was getting it. They were doing these all-inclusive tickets this year where you get free food and beer. My dad was like, I'm not paying the extra when I'm not going to drink enough or eat enough to do that because there's a lot more money than it typically is. But we've talked about the NCAA tournament since. I would just think, and tell me if I'm wrong, I think people would probably be more likely to spend money and try and go to one of the NCAA tournament sites for Arkansas than they would be for a bowl game. I could be wrong on that because I know there's more Arkansas football fans.
There's a lot more football fans in numbers and season ticket holders.
Correct.
So that's the other thing. So, I mean, Hunter Yurachek, his staff, Scott Verity at the foundation, they're seeing the reservations come in. So they've got a better idea of what the fan base is willing to support. Do you emotionally get caught up in it? You've already, put your request in, and then you get down to it, you're like, it's one thing to buy tickets, then it's a whole other thing to buy a hotel and airline and all of that. So we emotionally get caught up in it, and then, we put it down. But, that's the deal. The school doesn't want to be stuck with a bunch of tickets they can't sell. And if they've got all these advanced reservations, north of 10,000, I'd say they're going to be very confident in going to whatever bowl game that would be. I just don't know what those numbers are.
Titus in Witcherville said he'd rather go to the basketball game. And again, that's some people would rather go to the NCAA tournament. Some people would rather go to Omaha. You thought you were locked to Omaha this past year. We saw, unfortunately, that it didn't pan out that way. You're going to be locked for a bowl game. It's just a matter of what bowl game it actually is. And the good thing is about bowl games, Tommy, you do get a little more time to figure things out. Now, we know it's on a worst part of the season. I don't know how many of you, I know you got taxes that you're doing, but for March, I don't know how many of you are spending gobs of money in March, or for the College World Series, I don't know how much money you're spending gobs of in June, but you're spending tons of money in December for gifts, trips, whatever the case may be.
College World Series is drivable. Depending on what region you're in. You drove to Indianapolis last year. That's 8 hours. It depends on what your threshold on drive it is. Mine's 10. About 10 or 12.
It was 10, yeah.
Yeah. Is it 10 hours?
Every bit of 10 hours.
Okay. I mean, but that's doable.
Yeah. I think 10 or 12 is probably where I am.
Florida's 15-ish, 16-ish hours, depending on which location you're going to. Mm-hmm. They're kind of in the, the bend there in the Panhandle, Jacksonville, Orlando, Tampa. For some families, that's fine. For my family, I'm not spending 16 hours in the car with them. And not doing it.
You asked me about Jacksonville. When Arkansas played in Veteran Memorial Gym back in 2015 in that Jacksonville, they beat Wofford and they lost to North Carolina. Me, my brother, and 2 other buddies drove to that. Now, we stayed in Panama City Beach at the Holiday Inn that woke us up with the Lion King music every morning, and then we went to those games. That's a college kid that doesn't have a lick of money that is trying to save every can. Some will do it, some won't. But it just, I'm not a huge fan. I'm kind of like you. 10 or 12 hours is my max. Yeah. Anything less than that's or more than that's pretty tough.
Well, definitely don't want to go to the Outback Bowl in Tampa because Drew and I are going to be there for the conference tournament coming up in March. So I mean that's in Tampa this year.
You don't want to hit it twice.
Yeah, I don't want to go twice. So just take Tampa off the list for me. Hey, Sassy's Red House, Sassy's Barbecue and Grill, the place for any hungry football or basketball fan. Stop in tonight before you go to the Arkansas basketball game for award-winning smoked wings, tender brisket, and pulled pork. It's all at Sassy's, the original Red House on North College, and Sassy's Barbecue and Grill just off the Weddington exit on Steamboat Drive. Perfect for a pregame meal tonight at Sassy's.
I've seen a lot of people text in like Mac wanting to play Clemson in Jacksonville. When we were down in Athens, I had some Arkansas friends call me because Athens, I think, is only a 45-minute drive from Clemson. They had a flight out of Atlanta, and they almost considered after we got our tails kicked by Georgia to drive to Clemson. I forgot who they played that night, but they wanted to make that trip. I've seen a lot of people want to play Clemson as of late, but you mentioned it earlier this week. Clemson's won, 4 or 5 straight games?
Yeah, you want to get that 9th win. I understand
3,
the cachet,
4,
but
5 straight games.
Won 5 in a row to end the year. I'm more about winning.
You stay away from that.
I'd probably pass on first chance at playing Clemson.
The most appealing thing that I've seen is Penn State because I think it's a marquee program, but they're 7-5, so I think you'd have a good chance to beat them. Still a good football team. You'd have a tough time with Jahan Dotson, one of the best wide receivers in all of college football, but that is a bowl matchup that I would really be intrigued by if given the opportunity. All right, good What's Your Beef Wednesday today. Richard Davenport joins us for Recruiting Thursday tomorrow. Maybe he can give us an update on what's going on with former Oklahoma wide receiver Jaden Hazelwood. Everyone have a great day.
The temperatures may be cooling down, but at Wheels RV in Northwest Arkansas, the deals are still red hot. Whether you are enjoying one of over 50 state parks or tailgating with your favorite team,